Gee is the tight head prop for Poverty Bay. Joe Kemp and Latrell Walker are the locking partners. The loose forwards, Ruben Faiteri at number 6, Braith Ingram at 7, and Noah Torrance Cribb is at number 8 for Poverty Bay today. Kauri Christie is the halfback. Carlos Howe at number 10. Kaio Kerikeri Tangira is the left winger in the 11 jersey today. Jared Hill in the midfield at 12. Paraina Davies at 13 at centre. Aparana Kirkpatrick on the right wing side, jersey number 14. And at fullback today, starting the game for Poverty Bay, is Cohen Loeffler. The reserves today for Poverty Bay in the number 16 jersey is Malosi Lua Falealo. The number 17 jersey, Levi Cameron. 18 is Eugene Paul. Liam Beattie in jersey number 19. Te Ramana Gray in jersey 20. Raniera Moran in 21. And Asher Wells in jersey number 22. That's the Poverty Bay lineup for this morning's match, the Saracens Cup final, which will get underway here at the Sport and Rugby Institute in just a few moments from now. Looking at the Wellington side today, this is the Wellington Gold team, plays in Division B. Typically in past years, it has been known as the Wellington Development Team, this year known as the Wellington Gold side. At loosehead prop today is Jared Kuresa. At hooker, Ali Iono. And at tight head prop today, Sione Mafi. The number 4 and 5 jerseys will be worn by Tane Langdon Lane and Harry Irving, respectively. The loose forwards for Wellington today, and the number 6 jersey, Levi Morgan. Jackson Mendoza in the number 7, and Vati Valu at the back of the scrum, wearing the number 8 black jersey today for the Wellington side. Halfback, Oliver Cuff. In the number 10 jersey, Stanley Solomon. On the left wing side, we have Josh Semu. In the midfield, Penesi Risale. At centre today, Jacob Kennedy. Harrison Stoop is on the right wing side, and at fullback today for the Wellington Gold team is Piranese Boyle Tiatia. The reserve bench for Wellington, as they're just making their way through the cypress hedge to the far side of the Sport and Rugby Institute ground today. In the 16 jersey is Solomono Vaka. Braden Goley is in jersey 17. Samorana Fepuliai is in jersey 18 today. Zion Chalmers-Miller, jersey number 19. Connor Vlas in 20. Jade Burns in jersey number 21. And Tamihana Ranganui, jersey number 22 for Wellington. Making their way across the adjoining field number 5 to join us on field number 6 here at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. This facility, of course, being one of the great rugby facilities within New Zealand, and also obviously within the Hurricanes region, used a lot for these types of representative fixtures. I think in the early days when the facility was built, there was the idea that it would be the premier rugby training and development centre for New Zealand, with at that stage I think Palmerston North Airport being an international airport, the thought being that New Zealand representative teams could train and prepare at this magnificent facility and then fly off to far-flung corners of the globe to take on their competitors, but of course that didn't quite pan out as intended. The facility is still here though. It is now run by Massey University and the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council, the New Zealand Schools Rugby Union, and other rugby entities from around the country are commonly using this ground and these great facilities for the purposes of providing a rugby experience for all of our rangatahi from around New Zealand. Poverty Bay stayed here last night. They drove down from Gisborne, obviously, in preparation for this game, and referee Ben Cook from the Manawatu Rugby Union is the referee for this match today. Ben Cook is well known in representative rugby refereeing circles. He's been involved in the under-20, under-18 and now the under-16 programs for 2021. Ben Cook is involved with the Massey University Rugby Football Club here in Palmerston North. He's a former executive board member of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council, and in recent years has taken up the whistle as another way to contribute back to the game, which he enjoys like so many others. Wellington, as you can see in the black and gold jerseys right in front of us, and they'll be playing from south to north as we look at field number 6 of the Sport and Rugby Institute. Poverty Bay, the far end playing from north to south. Weather conditions here, a little overcast. The rain is going to stay away for the duration of this match according to the forecast. There is a chilly breeze, and Chris and I are well rugged up to stay warm here up on the balcony to bring you this match. And let's now listen to the challenge from Poverty Bay. Poverty Bay lay down the challenge for the Wellington side as we get set for kickoff in the Saracens Cup final match for 2021. Referee Ben Cook in charge of this fixture, and Wellington, as mentioned, playing into the northerly breeze for this first 35 minutes. Brilliant grounds here at the Sport and Rugby Institute, and I know that all the players that come here and have the opportunity to play on the surface really enjoy the experience. Full-size rugby fields, plenty of width, and as mentioned, the conditions are overcast but dry, and we know that both of these sides will be giving it everything over the next 35 minutes. Nick Reid from the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council, the president, is the ground manager this morning, and he's in charge of getting the ball out into the middle of the field. Nick does a great job for schools rugby in the Manawatu. Also, he's the manager for the New Zealand secondary school side, so he's very well versed in everything to do with rugby at this level. As I mentioned, president of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council. It'll be number 10, Carlos Howe, who will kick off. And set to go here as referee Ben Cook signals time on. Kick taken by number 8, Batu Balu for Wellington. He carries up towards the 10-metre line. A quick pass of the ball into the midfield. Unfortunately, Harry Irving couldn't keep hold of it, so opportunity here for Poverty Bay to get on to attack in the first minute of the game. So the pass coming out from Balu didn't quite find its mark there with Harry Irving. So a little bit of disappointment there. Cold conditions, hopefully the hands are warm for the Wellington team. They certainly won't want to make too many of those types of errors early in this match. Great opportunity here for Poverty Bay to launch their first attack just to the right of the right-hand upright, as you can see as we're looking at the match. Poverty Bay, Cody Christie is the halfback, will feed the first scrum. Poverty Bay backs splits both left and right. Great attacking opportunity. Standing right behind the back of the scrum is number 15, Cohen Loeffler. So he's got an opportunity to move left or right, depending upon how number 10, Carlos Howe, decides to take the play from this first scrum. Let's see how they go. Two good packs, be a competitive match. Ball comes out to Howe. He swings it round to, in fact, Howe now with the ball out towards the right wing side, but the Wellington defence are quick to stop the thrust of the attack. Palmerston field, and slow coming back for number 5, Latrell Walker. Does well though to keep the ball in hand. Poverty Bay starting to build just a little bit of pressure. This time with number 8, Noah Torrance-Crip. Comes out on the inside, snatched away by Wellington. Here's a chance now for Penisi Rasale to carry the ball up towards the halfway line. Reaching in for it goes Cuff. Off the boot from Solomon, kicks downtown, and Poverty Bay are going to have to be careful here. It's in goal. Who's going to get there first? Well, there is a try scored, First try of the morning, and it is Stanley Solomon for the Wellington Gold team, who touches down. Well, Poverty Bay had an opportunity to perhaps make an early statement in the match. A great attacking scrum on the 22-metre mark, and all of a sudden it turned right round, and Wellington were able to work the ball down the right wing side. And it was Stanley Solomon who was able to score the try close to the dead ball line in goal at the far end of the field. So Wellington 5 points to nil. Good start for the defending champions, the current holders of the Saracens Cup, here at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. So it'll be Solomon who will now attempt to convert his own try. Always good if you're in a competitive match to not only score the 5-pointer, but then get the opportunity to score the next extra two as well. This was a great match at Wellington's Sky Stadium yesterday evening for the Wellington Lions. I don't know if you saw that one, but Wellington played their get out of jail card on the death, scored a converted try to tie the scores up 30-all against Canterbury, and of course scoring in Golden Point extra time the winning try, the match winning try. Wellington their first win in 5 matches. And a great conversion attempt too by Stanley Solomon. It's 7 points to nil. Wellington with the early lead after 5 minutes of play here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. So Poverty Bay now will have to just compose themselves, swing back onto attack. They'll have the opportunity to chase the kickoff, obviously, and also have perhaps a bit of a conversation, as I'm sure they did behind the posts, about closing up a little bit of that defence and perhaps keeping the ball a little tighter early on in this match as the kickoff is made. Taken again by number 8, Abati Balu, and he breaks through the first tackle. Wellington forwards get there quickly. Gives an opportunity for Cuff to get the ball out to Solomon, the try scorer. Puts the ball up high. Taken easily down by the 22, midway between the 10-metre and 22-metre line. And the kick is returned, and a very good return kick as well by Poverty Bay. Puts the ball into touch on the 22-metre line inside Wellington territory. So Wellington will have the throw to the line out, but some territorial advantage for Poverty Bay. They're playing at the right end of the field. Don't forget they are playing with the benefit of the northerly breeze. It's a light northerly breeze, but if you can see the flags on the sideline, they're moving around a little bit more on the far side of the field rather than on the side of the line-out. So first line-out of the match, and throwing the ball in is Ali Iono. He misses his target though, bounces off the knees of one of the Wellington players and into the hands of the Poverty Bay side as they crash the ball up now inside the 22-metre line through the bulking form of Paraina Davies. Comes out on the left wing side now and keeping the ball a little bit tighter through Ruka Leilua. Poverty Bay looking to build a little bit of pressure. Just moving across the field a little bit, but Torrance Cribb does well to grab a couple of metres. Still with ball in hand in the 4th or 5th phase, moving steadily forward inside the 22, Poverty Bay, looking to make their first score of the game. Little kick through was deflected off a Wellington player, but Poverty Bay were all offside, so referee Ben Cook is going to award the penalty right out in front of the posts. Might be an opportunity here for Poverty Bay maybe just to take the 3 and grab back the margin a little bit. So number 9, Kari Christie, just looks around for a little bit of advice, decides he's going to call the scrum for Poverty Bay. Well, that's good play. That's a good decision for Poverty Bay. At the end of the day, they're going to have to win the game to win the cup, and 3-pointers, well, that might get them closer, but I'm sure that they'll be wanting to show the type of form that they have in the first 2 round robin matches of the 2021 competition and score their own try early in the first half. It's Kari Christie now. There's a big blind side behind the back of Christie, and Poverty Bay might put it down that side, but in fact it's going to come on the open side through Christie. Decides to carry the ball himself, taken by the Wellington defence, but there's a gaping hole left open for number 6, Ruben Faitiri, to make his way through. Penalised by referee Ben Cook for holding on to the ball, and then some back chat has taken the penalty kick out 10 metres. So Wellington pretty happy about that. Ruben Faitiri had an opportunity to break through, but just held on to the ball on the tackle. Those Wellington loose forwards got there quickly and forced the penalty turnover. So Solomon now weighs up his options, and he's going to kick for the right-hand touchline. That's where the wind will carry the ball. Probably won't make it up as far as the 10-metre mark from the 22, but he'll give it a good nudge, that's for sure. Number 10, Stanley Solomon, already scored a try and converted it in the first 5 minutes of this match. And the ball doesn't quite bounce into touch and is knocked on by Poverty Bay, so the assistant referee's flag goes up. Nick Reid playing assistant referee. Good on you, Nick. And it'll be Wellington ball midway between the 10-metre and the 22-metre line. Second throw of the morning for Ali Iono. First one didn't find its target. Second one will be trying to make sure that it does. Comes down on the Poverty Bay side though, so opportunity for Christie now to flick the ball out into the backs, and man Davies, well, he managed to grab the ball back. It was taken in the tackle at the same time he received the ball. So Poverty Bay now will just have to patiently build up a little bit more pressure as Ruka Leilua carries for the Scarlets up towards the 10-metre mark. Poverty Bay just running across the field a little bit with Latrell Walker, and Wellington looking to hold the ball up here. The tackle is now caught. In fact, the ball has been ripped away and has been ripped off illegally. So the tackled player failed to release Latrell Walker. Sorry, the tackler failed to release Latrell Walker, which gives Poverty Bay now a chance to grab some territory back and swing back onto attack, as the ball is not going to find touch, or it will find touch just on the halfway line. So tricky conditions, possibly for some of these players, the widest field that they've played on. They are full-size rugby fields here at Sport and Rugby Institute, so going to judge the width and also the wind as well. Throw to Poverty Bay, the ball came off a Wellington player. Taken from the top, but falls on the Wellington side. Chance now for Wellington through Valu to carry up towards the 10-metre line inside Poverty Bay territory. Does pretty well, taken in the tackle. Slow ball coming back for Wellington though. Out on the left wing side now. Going in to help, number 12, Denisi Rasale. Wellington still with ball in hand. Inside ball to Jackson Mendoza. Taken in the tackle. Reaching in for it goes Cuff. Cuff puts it out on the right wing side and locked forward, so advantage to Poverty Bay. Just on their 10-metre mark. Second knock on. So we'll come back for the scrum. It'll be Poverty Bay ball from the first infringement. The score is 7 points to 0 here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Wellington scoring an early try in the first 5 minutes through Stanley Solomon. He converted his own score. And Wellington with the early advantage. Poverty Bay, though, showing glimpses of the form which has brought them to the final this afternoon. The coaches will be just wanting the boys to maintain their composure and maybe be a little bit more patient with the ball in hand. They put all of the backs out onto the left wing side as we look at the field at the moment, as the scrum is fed by Christie, so they're going to try and load up down the right wing side. The pass doesn't find its way to its intended recipient though, so knocked on by Wellington by the man with the headgear, number 13, Jacob Kennedy, as he was looking to retrieve the errant pass from Poverty Bay. But it worked out well for Poverty Bay because Kennedy knocked the ball on, so they'll have another chance now to feed a scrum. But the pass is just not sticking so well for Poverty Bay this morning. A couple of times the ball's gone out into the back line. Perhaps the target has not been quite expecting the ball, or the pass has been not quite as direct as it should have been. Anyhow, Carrie Christie is getting plenty of opportunity to feed the scrum. Referee Ben Cook not quite happy with the set there, so just telling the front rows to perhaps step a little closer, get the binds up and get the firm set. Now an option for Poverty Bay with the conditions would actually be to kick down towards the south-eastern corner of the ground. The wind, which we can see rippling along the cypress hedges at the back of the ground, will carry the ball. It's not a bad option from where they are at the moment, so let's see what happens as the ball comes out into the midfield, into the arms of Davies, who once again is wrapped up quickly by the Wellington goal defence. Poverty Bay with a penalty advantage though, Wellington not rolling away from the tackle. So Christie is able to feed the ball out again. It's a free pass for Ruka Leilua. He's been industrious and busy so far this morning. Second penalty advantage, and referee Ben Cook just blows the whistle advantage not coming. So the ball will be given back to Davies to kick for touch, and you can see the wind just coming over his right shoulder, and the jerseys rustling in the northerly breeze here at Palmerston North, and it's a good kick for touch too. Palmerston North, quite deservedly, has a bit of a reputation for being a windy city, even more so perhaps from where I come from in Wellington. But, certainly in these fixtures, as you can see Nick Reed's assistant referee's flag fluttering, you've got to take advantage of it when you do have the opportunity to do so. As Jan Karakia Niwa will throw to the first line out for Poverty Bay with ball in hand. The Saracens Cup just in the background there, as mentioned. Only these two teams are the only two teams to have won the Cup since 2005 when it was first introduced for Division B of the Hurricanes Under-16 tournament. Ball comes down and looking to run a move, go Poverty Bay. Out again to number 6, Faitiri. He was waiting in midfield, keeping good control of the ball. This time through the hands of Walker, who's taken in the tackle just outside, just over the halfway line, I should say. And not sure what the call is there, but Wellington going to have to be a little bit careful now because there's been 3 or 4 on the trot. The kick is taken quickly by Poverty Bay as they look to bust their way through up towards the 22-metre line inside Wellington territory. Comes out on the left wing side now, and good work by number 15, Con Loeffler. Rolled with the ball, another penalty advantage. 3rd or 4th for Wellington now. Could be danger time, not 10 metres, says referee Ben Cook. Kick is taken quickly by Christie, and unfortunately number 8, Torrance Cribb, wasn't expecting the pass. And this is what the coaches will be keen to just remind the Poverty Bay side about. There's a little bit of composure. You don't have to do everything at 100 miles an hour. And the possession that you do get this morning in the Saracens Cup final, you're going to have to treasure and just work at preserving until you can build a little bit more pressure. And pressure will ultimately, hopefully, turn into points for the Poverty Bay side. Currently trailing Wellington Gold by 7 points to 0. Just the one converted try by the number 10, Stanley Solomon, for Wellington Gold. Chance now for Oliver Cuff to feed his first scrum of the morning. Ball comes off the back by Balu, I should say. And
with him,
penalised for boring in. Wellington take the tap quickly. Charging up towards the halfway line go Wellington. Reaching in for the ball goes Cuff. Passes it up to Iono. Iono taking in the tackle on the halfway. The defence from Poverty Bay is good. Now Morgan with ball in hand. Again wrapped up by the Poverty Bay defence. Just going from left to right. Wellington at the moment looking for a little hole. Harry Irving. The lock forward with ball. Cuff recycles. Gives it up to, I should say, Boyle Tiatia for Wellington. On the right wing side now. And unable to maintain possession of the ball. Was it Valu there on the right wing side? He just probably took his eyes off the pass, looking for the opportunity to get down the right flank. And unfortunately knocked the ball on as the ball was passed to him. So Poverty Bay get another chance from set piece play. Scrum ball. We hope you're enjoying this live stream coverage brought to you by the Video Hub and the Hurricanes event tech, I should say, and Chris Morgan, the cameraman, this afternoon at the Sport and Rugby Institute, field number 6, the first of our 2 finals for the 2021 Hurricanes Under-16 tournament, Saracens Cup, Wellington Gold, leading Poverty Bay 7 points to 0. Scrum twists, and so we'll come back for a reset. The sun has just come out. I have to say that is rather nice as we sit up here on the balcony at the Sport and Rugby Institute. It isn't the warmest of days in Palmerston North. In fact, my wife and I just came down from Gisborne yesterday. We spent the week up there and had a very enjoyable time. Great hospitality wherever we went from Poverty Bay, and we really enjoyed the opportunity. Went up to Anara Bay and also up to Eastwood Hill, and just really enjoyed the time that we had there. We were hoping to watch a little more rugby with the tournament, of course, but had been cancelled. We did get up to Rangitukia and see East Coast, Ngāti Porou East Coast, play Hawke's Bay Development, which was a great opportunity to visit that part of the country. Palmerston North it is today though, and the Saracens Cup final free kick awarded to Poverty Bay against the tight head prop Sione Muffy for Wellington Gold. The tap is taken quickly by Poverty Bay through number 8, Torrance Cribb. Slow ball coming back, but now they're playing with just a little bit more direction as Joe Kemp has his first carry of the morning. A lot forward for Poverty Bay. Ball is fed up by Christie to the right wing side and is intercepted nearly by Josh Semu for Wellington. And again, a little knock on. So just some of the communication there in the backline passing, not working 100% accurately this morning for Poverty Bay. They'll be disappointed by that. Certainly the coaches will be. But it's just taking the foot off the accelerator and giving Wellington Gold a bit of a reprieve as they start to build a little bit of pressure and momentum, Poverty Bay. So this scrum will be 10 metres in from the western touchline, just on the halfway line. And it'll be number 9, Oliver Cuff, to feed the scrum. Once again, the front row's just not quite getting the binding right. So referee Ben Cook, as mentioned, very experienced referee from the Manawatu Rugby Referees Association. Has been refereeing throughout this Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council representative program. As we know, without referees we don't have a game, and this series of fixtures is a great opportunity for referees who are not at the National Provincial Championship level, but nonetheless are very experienced and competent referees, to take charge of some of these important representative fixtures. This is the Hurricanes Under-16 tournament. It's been competed for since 1972. Ball comes out from the back of the scrum to Cuff. Passes to the try scorer Solomon into the midfield. And passing the ball out onto the right wing side, taking it as Harrison Stoop finds a bit of space down towards the 22-metre line inside Poverty Bay territory. Wellington again, just straight in the line of attack through Tane Langdon Lane. Once again down the short side, this time with ball in hand, Jackson Mendoza. Decides not to pass. It's wrapped up in the tackle. Makes it to the ground though, so Cuff can reach in and recycle the ball. Ball comes back again for Langdon Lane. He's getting busy as the first half is wearing on here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Cuff again out to Solomon in the midfield. Rasale taken in a heavy tackle, and Poverty Bay going to be penalised this time for offside play, it looks like, as the ball was making its way across the midfield. So this is really the first opportunity for Wellington Gold to get inside and attack in the Poverty Bay 22 for the past 10 minutes. Poverty Bay have had probably the better of the territorial game so far in this match, but they do trail by 7 points to 0. It's not a big margin, anybody's game. And the one thing that interests me so far in looking at their play and their game plan is their lack of willingness to kick the ball. So, as mentioned, Poverty Bay are playing with the benefit of a northerly breeze. And to get the ball into the southeastern corner, I think you'll find that Wellington do that in the second half when they turn with the wind behind them. Meanwhile, Oliver Cuff will feed the scrum 15 metres in from the eastern touchline on the 22-metre line. And this time it is number 1 for Poverty Bay, Rukale Lua, who was penalised by referee Ben Cook for boring in on the scrum. So Wellington feel that they might be getting a little bit of dominance here. Tight head prop, the number 18 jersey, Samurana Fipule, creating a little bit of a problem for Rukale Lua, his opponent in the attacking scrum. So we'll give some credit to Fipalue for the work that he is doing, anchoring the Wellington scrum as they are in a great attacking opportunity here on the 22-metre line. 15 metres in from the eastern touchline. As referee Ben Cook looks on, Cuff feeds the ball. Comes out into the hands of Solomon. Solomon into the midfield where he finds Rasale, who jinks and weaves his way up towards the 10-metre line out from the Poverty Bay goal line. Cuff looks left and right. Eventually the ball is shuffled out to Boyle Tiatia. Not much of an opportunity for him, and the ball is lost, taken by Poverty Bay, but number 13, Paraina Davies, who's been busy this morning, just as he attempted to pick the ball up from the deck, I think just knocked it on. So both sides finding the handling conditions a little bit tricky, and both sides not really having much by way of opportunity and breaking through the defence. We have to give credit to both sides' defence so far this morning in the first half of the Saracens Cup final. Nobody's been able to break through. The first try really came through a passage of broken play with a kick through. Number 10, Stanley Solomon, was able to dot down in Poverty Bay's in goal just before the ball went dead. But Oliver Cuff now will feed the scrum. This time it's on the same position on the 22-metre line, and running off the back goes the ball king form of Vati Valu. He's taken in the tackle 10 metres out from the Poverty Bay goal line. Great opportunity now for Wellington as Levi Morgan carries strongly. The ball pops out and then is knocked on by Fipalue. Referee Ben Cook was signalling an advantage for offside, it seems, so will come out for the penalty. Be interesting to see what Wellington do here. Having had a period now with territory and possession in a cup final where you have a 7-point advantage, it's not a bad idea to go for the penalty kick. And it looks like number 7 for Poverty Bay has been yellow carded, or is it number 13? Yellow card came out from referee Ben Cook. Might have missed that, but for the next 10 minutes anyway, Poverty Bay are going to be playing, are they, with a one less player? Yes, wandering out to the right wing side there. It might be number 13, Perina Davies, who's been sent to the sin bin. So Wellington take the penalty and score the try. They don't muck around. So good work there by the halfback. Oliver Cuff scores the second try for the Wellington Gold side. It's 12 points to 0. So disappointment there for Poverty Bay. And disappointment too for number 13, Perina Davies, who makes his way up towards the halfway line. He'll spend the next 8 minutes on the sideline. And I didn't quite see what the offence was. It might have been repeated infringements, or it might have been some off-the-ball play. But nonetheless, Wellington have been able to cash in, this time through number 9, Oliver Cuff. Little dart round the left-hand upright and scores the try. So Solomon has his second attempted goal this morning. Successful with the first. 12 points to 0 is the score. Manawatu under-16 side has arrived at the Sport and Rugby Institute. They're playing in the Don Broughton Shield final against Hawke's Bay. That'll be our next match at 12 p.m, also being live streamed for you. The Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council under-16 tournament for 2021. Stanley Solomon with his second attempt at goal. Bright sunshine now, Sport and Rugby Institute. Things are warming up. We're enjoying that too. Solomon pulls the kick away to the right-hand upright, so no change to the score, 12 points to 0. Wellington leading Poverty Bay in the Saracens Cup final for 2021. Thank you to all whānau and supporters who taking advantage of this live stream of the Cup final this afternoon. I know that there were many from Poverty Bay who wished to travel down for this match in Palmerston North. As mentioned at the start of the broadcast, the COVID alert level 2 conditions meant we were unable to allow spectators to this match, as Vati carries the ball strongly from the kickoff for Wellington. Every kickoff has fallen its way, but it's turned over by Poverty Bay. And referee Ben Cook is saying that the tackler didn't release the tackled player. So Vati, well, he lost the ball and it was scooped up by Poverty Bay. Wellington again get the penalty kick. So Solomon, just outside the 22, midway between the 22 and 10 metre line, will kick for the eastern touch line. Gets the ball into touch around midway between the 10 metre and the 22 metre line. Wellington having the better of the game over the past 15 minutes of this first half. Now have scored 2 tries, 1 converted, so 12 points to 0. And they are, of course, the defending champions of the Saracens Cup. Poverty Bay win the line out though. The ball finds its way towards the touchline. Referee Nick Reid looks in for the ball, and with the assistance of referee Ben Cook, calls that the ball did go into touch. It was carried into touch by Poverty Bay. So attacking line out opportunity for Wellington Gold now. Number 2, Ali Iono has found the throwing conditions a bit difficult this time. It works out better for Wellington, and they put the ball into midfield quickly. Quick hands down the left wing side, and here's a chance now for Josh Semu. Semu scorches his way up to the line. He's going to score the third try for Wellington, and his first try of the final this afternoon. It's 17 points to nil. Well worked moved by Wellington from inside the Poverty Bay 22. The line-out throw from Ali Iono found its target, and the ball was shifted quickly once it reached the hands of halfback Oliver Cuff out onto the left wing side, where Josh Semu was able to brush off the Poverty Bay defence and carry the ball up towards the left-hand upright and score the third try for Wellington Gold. 17 points to nil now. First half of the Saracens Cup final, and the conversion kick from Stanley Solomon to come. Good work by Wellington. Disappointment again for Poverty Bay. Don't forget that they have one player in the sin bin for the next 6 minutes or so. And the sin bin has cost them dearly, as Wellington have scored their third try. 2 tries scored in that period of time. This time the assistant referee's flags go up. 19 points to nil at the Sport and Rugby Institute, and Wellington Gold will be feeling confident that they will retain the Saracens Cup. Still half of the game to be played. We will be coming up to half-time probably in the next 2 to 3 minutes. But they'll be pleased. 3 unanswered tries in the first half, playing into the northerly breeze. Poverty Bay now will want to get some points on the board just to stay in touch with Wellington. They certainly don't want Wellington to score again. This time nobody from Wellington wants the ball. Number 7, Mendoza didn't want it, Solomon didn't want it, but they eventually get the ball out onto the left wing side, where the try scorer Semu runs round behind one of his players, and that's an offside play by Josh Semu. Pretty basic stuff. Just number 13, Jacob Kennedy, got in the way. Kick taken quickly by Poverty Bay, but the ball is knocked on. And that's disappointment for number 3, Fiturangi McGee for Poverty Bay. Right within 18 metres of the Wellington goal line, and just maybe taking the pass before thinking about where to run to might have been the best option for McGee. So Wellington get another let off, and they'll get a defensive scrum just inside their 22 on the 15-metre mark on the western touchline. At Massey University, the Sport and Rugby Institute, one of New Zealand's premier rugby grounds. Magnificent facility. Poverty Bay enjoyed the hospitality of the Sport and Rugby Institute last night. Ball comes back to Cuff, passes out to Solomon. Solomon puts the ball to his right boot, sees a big gaping hole. Chasing back for it is number 14, Aparana Kirkpatrick for Poverty Bay. Puts the ball in field, and number 15, Loeffler can't get his hands to the ball. Has to grab it off the deck, and he's held up now in the tackle by Wellington. Wellington tacklers will have to let him go though. 10 metres out from his own goal line, right in front of the posts. Danger time for Poverty Bay, and a scrambling clearance kick is going to be fielded by Solomon. Can't get his hands to it though. Just to scoop it up. This time it comes out on the right wing side, where Boyle Tiatia goes for a run, drops the ball though. And both sides being guilty of not being able to retain possession of the ball. On the occasions that Wellington has had the ball, it's worked out better for them. They've scored 3 tries so far in this first 35 minutes. As mentioned, if the scores are tied at the conclusion of this match, it'll be Wellington who retain the trophy. There's no extra time, no golden points in these cup finals for the Hurricanes under-16 tournament. At the moment, 19-point advantage to Wellington Gold is Carrie Christie. Will feed the scrum. On the 22-metre line, 15 metres in from the eastern touchline. Northerly breeze continuing to blow, and a chance maybe for Carlos Howe to kick the ball downtown. Although the ball comes out into the midfield, I think it's Kirkpatrick who scooped it up. Slow ball coming back for Christie. This time the ball is going to be cleared, and referee Ben Cook is penalising Poverty Bay for getting in front of their last man's feet perhaps, pulling in a Wellington player to the ruck. Not 100% sure. Nonetheless, it's another opportunity. A quick tap taken by Cuff, shifts the ball down the left-hand side of the field, perhaps looking to link up with the try scorer Semu. He's there over the ball at least. Poverty Bay are going to get a penalty back though. Now, for my money, I'd be whacking the ball downfield as far as I can before half time and hoping to get a line out. And that's the signal that's now comes through for Kauri Christie. So let's see what type of distance he can get on this ball. He's on his 22-metre line and he gets it nice and high. Hopes the wind will get it to the touchline. It does that. And in fact, doesn't make that much distance. So he was inside the 22. The line out will be just outside the 22. Poverty Bay will now have to work the best part of 70 metres to get up to the Wellington goal line, score some points. You can see the young assistant referee's flag flying in the breeze there. It's kind of swirling around a bit here as Karakia Niwa will throw to the line out. Good throw, misses its target though, so Wellington can pounce on this. Good work by Poverty Bay though. Throw was not straight. So the wind just carrying the ball away from the hands of the Poverty Bay jumpers, and Wellington will now have another chance for an attacking scrum. Very good attacking scrum for them too. Must be Simbin time, must be just about up for 13 Paraina Davies. Can't tell if he's on the field just yet, but on the reserves bench there seems to be a bit of action. In the shadows of half time here at the Sport and Rugby Institute of Palmerston, North Massey University, Saracens Cup final of the Hurricanes under-16 tournament. Wellington gold, leading Poverty Bay by 19 points to nil. 3 tries to none. Ball comes out down the short side through the hands of Vati. Vati passes up to Cuff. Cuff up to the goal line. And Cuff, did he score? The ball was knocked on. Well, you saw it, folks. Cuff was just a little bit too relaxed about scoring that try. It was a one-handed pounce of the ball down onto the ground, and Davies is back on the field. So Cuff should have scored that try but didn't, just bounced the ball with his right hand in the in goal. So disappointment for Wellington. They are 3 tries up. The 4th might have been a bit of a clincher for Wellington in this match. However, it's not to be. So Poverty Bay will have a defensive scrum just outside their own goal line, 5 metres out from their goal line. And again, perhaps it'll be Howe who'll look to thump the ball down the other end of the field. Christie didn't get much purchase on the ball from the last penalty kick, so didn't make too much meterage. Another opportunity now though. They certainly will have to get the ball out of trouble. Christie passes out and the ball is dropped cold by number 12 Jared Hill, and unfortunately he's allowed Wellington to score their 4th try. Didn't get the try scorer's number there, but nonetheless the try has been scored, so that makes it 24 points to nil at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Disappointment for Poverty Bay there. The pass came back to number 12 Jared Hill from Christie. I think the idea was that Hill was either going to make a scamper up towards the 22 and get a better position for a clearance kick, or perhaps belt the ball into touch himself, but the strategy didn't work out and Hill dropped the ball cold, so Wellington pounced on it. That's the 4th try of the afternoon. Well, of the morning, getting a little bit ahead of myself. Normally these games being played in the afternoon, but an early start for both of these sides. It'll be half-time, I imagine, after this conversion kick by Solomon. In fact, is the conversion? No, he's still to be taken. So he's scored 2 out of 4. Well, this is the 4th kick, so 2 out of 3. It'll be 3 out of 4. If he gets this one, 24 points to nil is the score. As the ball just keeps rolling off the tee, decides to take the drop kick attempt and gets it through as well. 26 points to nil is the score here at the Sport and Rugby Institute in the Saracens Cup final of the Hurricanes under-16 tournament for 2021. The 4 tries were scored by Wellington in the first half. Firstly by Stanley Solomon, who ran through on a chip kick into the Poverty Bay in goal and dotted down just before the ball hit the dead ball line. Try was then scored by the halfback Oliver Cuff, who very nearly scored a 4th try for the Wellington side, or his 2nd try, but bounced the ball rather lazily with his right hand in the in goal, and the try was disallowed. Josh Semu, the left wing, also scored a try for Wellington in the first half. And the fourth try, didn't get the try scorer, but came off an error where the ball was in Poverty Bay possession, was passed from the halfback to the number 12 Hill, who dropped the ball cold at the goal line and was pounced on by Wellington. And that was the fourth try. 3 conversions by the number 10 Stanley Solomon for 6 points. Takes the total score out to 26 points to 0, with the second half to come in just a few minutes here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. We hope you're enjoying this live coverage, live streamed by Event Tech, Chris Morgan and Video Hub. So we're delighted to have them involved with bringing this broadcast to you this afternoon. Thank you again to all of our rugby friends and whānau who have not travelled to Palmerston North for this match but are enjoying it via the live stream. As mentioned earlier in this match, at alert level 2, we still have a requirement to scan in and register and record all spectators at uncontrolled venues, and at this venue, unfortunately, not being a stadium or arena with specific entrances and exits, it's made that a little bit too much of a challenge for the event organisers today. So great coverage anyway in terms of the images that have been provided by Event Tech and Chris Morton, and hopefully the comments are helping to helping you keep abreast of the play as well. Both of these sides coming into this Saracens Cup final with 2 wins out of 2 in the build-up to the final. This year, the tournament disrupted, of course, by COVID-19 in 2020. The tournament was cancelled, so we're delighted that these games have been able to be played this year. In 2021, the intention was for the matches to all be played in Ruatoria. Ngāti Porou East Coast was celebrating their centenary as a province, as part of the New Zealand rugby whānau. Very disappointing, of course, for everybody associated with Ngāti Porou East Coast rugby that we were unable to bring the 10 teams up from around the Hurricanes region. There are 10 teams in this tournament in Division A, 4 teams being Hawke's Bay, Manawatu, Wellington and Wairarapa Bush. Those 4 teams are playing for the Don Broughton Shield, which was first competed for in 1972. Don Broughton, a kaumātua of the Horowhenua Kapiti Rugby Football Union, donated the trophy for the development of youth rugby in 1972. Hawke's Bay have won the Shield more times than anyone else over that period, a total of 22 times. Manawatu have only won the Shield 3 times since 1972, but today they are in the Shield final against Hawke's Bay, and both of these teams, Hawke's Bay and Manawatu, have been very strong through the first 3 rounds of the Don Broughton Shield. It'll be a cracker game that gets underway at 12 p.m. on the same field here, also on this live stream. If you're able to stay with us and join us for that match, you're in for a ripper of a game, that's for sure. Wellington didn't make it through to the final this year. Wellington are the defending holders of the Don Broughton Shield. They have won it a total of 17 times since 1972. This year they were beaten by both Hawke's Bay and Manawatu. They defeated Wairarapa Bush and will play Wairarapa Bush for 3rd place this afternoon at Porodua Park in Wellington. So Wellington will be looking to secure 3rd place for that match. And here at the Sport and Rugby Institute, the Saracens Cup final, as mentioned, there are 6 teams in this side of the competition. The other finals being played through the region around the Motu this afternoon for 3rd and 4th place. It's Hawke's Bay Development hosting Horowhenua Kapiti at McLean Park in Napier as the curtain raiser for the Ranfurly Shield Challenge between Hawke's Bay and Tasman. What a great experience that will be for both of those sides, Horowhenua Kapiti under 16 and Hawke's Bay Development. In the playoff, the other playoff for 5th and 6th place is being played at Waipukurau at the Central Park ground, which is the home ground of the Central Hawke's Bay Rugby Football Club. That match is being played by Whanganui and Ngāti Porou East Coast, who are travelling down. So just had a note that the live stream has just cut out, so we'll just check that. Back on now, thank you very much. So just a shout out from our viewers down in the Otago Rugby Football Union, watching this game from Dunedin. Welcome to the Sport and Rugby Institute for the Saracens Cup Final 2021. It's Wellington that are ahead by 26 points to nil. They've scored 4 tries, 3 of which have been converted so far in this match. And Poverty Bay now will be playing into the northerly breeze with Stanley Solomon, the number 10 for Wellington, to restart the match. Referee Ben Cook from the Manawatu Rugby Referees Association. Solomon restarts play. On the field is number 20 for Poverty Bay. It's Te Ramana Gray. Didn't want the ball. Instead it was taken by Wellington, who now surge up through the 22-metre line. Hard on attack in the first minute of the second 35 minutes at the Sport and Rugby Institute. The ball is swung into midfield and a great tackle is put on the centre, number 13 Jacob Kennedy, but offside play by Poverty Bay will result in a penalty advantage to the Wellington side. High tackle it was against number 7. Braith Ingram is the call from Ben Cook. So Solomon now understands he's got the benefit of the northerly breeze. To touch. It'll go into touch 5 metres out from the Poverty Bay goal line. So immediately Wellington get straight back on to attack and look to resume the momentum that they took into the half-time break, leading by 4 tries to nil. 26 points to nil the score here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Full line out called and taken from the top by Tani Langdon Lane. But just this northerly breeze, it is quite strong, and both line-out throwers finding it a little bit tricky to manage the conditions. So probably they'll be quite pleased about that. It relieves the pressure momentarily for them. Number 20, Te Ramana Gray, is in at first receiver. Number 10, as we're looking at the scrum being set 5 metres out from the Poverty Bay goal line. Communication between Gray and the halfback Kauri Christie. The ball might come back to number 14, Aparana Kirkpatrick, for the clearance kick. But Gray is going to have to manage this northerly breeze if he's kicking for touch. Free kick taken quickly by Poverty Bay. On the field again, Paraina Davies just runs it hard and straight up towards the 22 for the Scarlets. They've got a lot of work in front of them, but does pretty well too. Manages to grab about 20 metres. Good defence by Wellington, though, just slows the ball down a little bit. Comes back to Luka Leilua, the loose head prop for the Scarlets. Once again, just looking to build some phases. Wellington guilty of just slowing the ball down, not releasing the tackled player, and preventing the pass with the ball being recycled. So this is the first clearance kick for touch for Te Ramana Gray. He'll be looking to bang the ball downfield as much as he can up towards the halfway line. Will the ball go into touch? Well, it won't. It was brilliantly bounced back into play. Taking the ball is Tamahana Ranganui, who centres the ball, carries up towards the halfway line. Wellington into possession now. Disappointment for Gray with the clearance kick. It was a pretty good kick too. Brilliant work by Wellington just by bouncing the ball in. Wellington now guilty of 3 or 4 penalties in a row, this time offside play joining the ruck. So what are the options now for Gray? He is going to kick for the eastern touchline. 26 points to nil. Poverty Bay have to be the first to score in the second 35 minutes to stay in the hunt to perhaps win the Saracens Cup for the 5th time since 2005. Really has been Wellington's trophy over those years. They've won it 11 times so far. Just the 4 wins by Poverty Bay. But now they launch on to attack on the 22-metre line inside Wellington territory as the sun comes out. Just warms us up a little bit. Brilliant ground, brilliant facility, brilliant occasion for the Saracens Cup. Poverty Bay to throw to the line, and bright sunshine. Ball falls on the Wellington side, and here's a chance for Wellington to break out now. through number 21, Jade Burns, ran strongly up towards the halfway line. Poverty Bay, though, turned the ball over. That's great work. Ball's passed out to Levi Cameron, who's now on for the Scarlets. He just runs hard and straight, puts his head down. Up now to Leilua. Leilua has been a good prop forward for Poverty Bay this morning. He's been into everything. And now he combines again with Cameron. Cameron just looks for a little bit of a hole. Christie weighs up his options. And the ball comes out on the left side of the field. This is better work from Poverty Bay, building momentum and forcing Wellington back. Wellington are wary now that they could be facing a sin bin, as number 4 Joe Camp gets taken in a big tackle, does well to maintain the ball though. Christie gets bustled over the ball by Wellington. Reaching in for it is Langdon Lane. Aparana Kirkpatrick though was there to scoop it up for Poverty Bay. Just moving from one side of the field to the next, not much by way of forward momentum. And Christie just does a little bit of a deliberate knock on. He understood that Wellington were offside and that Poverty Bay were playing under advantage. Now, Ben Cook might be going to his pocket shortly. This is about the 5th penalty in a row against Wellington. Just getting a little bit untidy around the broken play. And Poverty Bay will be taking advantage of this, that's for sure, as Gray now looks to get the ball into touch deep inside Wellington territory. That's a great kick by number 20, Teramana Gray, and he's put his side hard onto attack. Best opportunity in the second half, their only opportunity inside the Wellington 22 so far, and probably their best opportunity of the game. So the challenge now is with the line out. Perhaps don't throw it long, just throw it short, get it to the front. Waiting for the ball there is the tall timber of Raniera Moran, and he's going to be the target, I think, although there's a little bit of confusion in the line out. Ball eventually does come down for Poverty Bay, and it's straight down the middle. So the rolling ball is set by Poverty Bay. Here they go up towards the goal line. This is a lot better. Now they shift the ball out. Untidy pass, and Wellington have scooped it up. So that's bad luck for Poverty Bay. The ball is now hacked downfield by Wellington. Coming back for it was it Davies, but Wellington have done well to scoop the ball up and retain possession. So Wellington now sweep on to attack. And comes out on the left wing side. Pass out to Langdon Lane. He's a sprightly player. That was number 16. Solomon Ovaka. Wellington now shifting the ball left and right, looking for the holes, and here's an opportunity for number 15 Boyle Tiatia. Taken in the tackle, running out of space down the right wing side now. Wellington though still working well with the ball up towards the try line. They go well. That ball had to be defended by Gray for Poverty Bay. He's done well to save another, what could have been a certain try. Wellington leading by 26 points to 0, and now capped on the Poverty Bay goal line. Bodies everywhere, and the ball's slow coming back. Well, Christie doesn't have many options, so he just pumps the ball into the air. Comes down for Solomon. He's already scored one try. Wants to score another. Comes out on the left wing side, and it's going to be an easy one for Wellington. Their 5th try of the afternoon. 31 points to 0. And that one scored by number 16, Solomon Abaka. Replacement front rower. And he was ranging out on the left wing side unmarked. Didn't have a lot of speed to get to the try line, so the cover defence managed to reach him on the goal line for Poverty Bay, but it was all for naught as the bulking form of Solomon Ovaka scores Wellington's 5th try of the afternoon, or of the late morning. Still only just 11 a.m. Getting ahead of myself. 31 points to 0 with a conversion kick to come. Of the 5 tries scored, 3 have been converted by the number 10, Stanley Solomon. He's been pretty good, kicking in difficult conditions from, in some cases, wide out angles. So just looking to put the icing on the cake of this try. Well, really disappointing for Poverty Bay. One moment they were hard on attack down on Wellington's goal line, and then all of a sudden, pass again just didn't go to hand, and hacked through by Wellington. Suddenly Wellington are down the other end of the field and scoring their 5th try. From left to right they swung the ball, finally ending up in the arms of number 16 Solomon Avaka. He's pretty happy too, the big man, to have scored a try for Wellington. And now he'll be pumped to keep going for the remainder of this match. Sport and Rugby Institutes in Palmerston North. 31 points to 0. The conversion attempt unsuccessful by Solomon. So Poverty Bay to restart play through the boot of Teramana Gray. Puts the ball up nice and high and fielded easily by Wellington inside their 22. And a little no-look pass didn't really go anywhere, and here's danger for Wellington. Well done to Poverty Bay. There's a knock on though, so Wellington are going to run it out. Now they belt the ball downtown, again with the benefit of that northerly breeze. Players in front of the kicker though, so referee Ben Cook can't carry on with the advantage, and we'll come back for the scrum, which will be Wellington ball for a Poverty Bay knock on just outside their own goal line, about 6 or 7 metres out from the Wellington goal line. Good opportunity there for Poverty Bay. Had they been able just to keep their hands on the ball, they certainly were wanting to score first in the second 35 minutes, but hasn't worked out that way. Wellington scored their 5th try just a few moments ago.
No, the number 9, he tried to come round.
Second match will be played at 12 p.m. kickoff. That's the Don Broughton Shield final between Manawatu and Hawke's Bay. Stay with us if you can for that one. That will prove to be a cracker of a match, no doubt about it. Manawatu looking to win the Shield for the 5th time since 1972. Good scrum from Wellington, but all sorts of pressure for Solomon close to the goal line. Here's a chance now for Poverty Bay. They're just patient and build a few phases of pressure. This could be their first try. Off goes Leilua. He's been one of the better players for the Scarlets this morning. Christie with the ball. Again, can't find its target. Fortunately, wasn't knocked on. So it will be recycled by Poverty Bay. The passing just hasn't really been they want through the course of this match so far. Carried strongly. Wellington looking to hold the ball up in a maul, but they're going to have to release here. They do so. So Christie again will look to get onto the ball. Play on, says referee Ben Cook, and well, Poverty Bay just not doing enough to secure possession there. Number 21, Raniera Moran, tried to get it back, but the ball's been turned over to Wellington. Now onto the left wing side, but a little forward pass there. Connor Vlass just shoveled the ball for Wellington out through the arms of Vaka to the left wing side of the field, and the pass was forward by the try scorer. So it'll be a Poverty Bay scrum. So it hasn't worked out too badly for Poverty Bay after all of that. As you've just been watching this match, you know that Poverty Bay have been getting their fair share of possession, but just when the ball is getting out past the first receiver, there's been a little bit of difficulty in maintaining possession. The balls have been going to ground, the passes have been going to ground, and just the odd knock-on has let Wellington off the hook at the time. Poverty Bay should have been applying just a little bit more pressure. Christie feeds the scrum, and it's a swirling scrum, and it's won by Wellington. Now the number 8 for Poverty Bay, Torrance Cribb, took his head up as perhaps Poverty Bay hadn't quite secured possession, so Wellington have secured the scrum turnover by pushing over the ball. They'll be pretty pleased about that, I would have thought. So this kick should carve off 20 to 30 metres, although it's scudded along the ground, and Wellington will be a bit disappointed by that. If the ball went up in the air, it could have carved up a bit more territory. So Poverty Bay still keep the territorial advantage, keep Wellington on the defensive. This player's going to restart, and number 16 Vaka throw the ball. Has got into the game early. Studio 74, the form of Liam with the camera there taking photos of this match. There will be photos online available for everyone to see at the conclusion. Thanks Liam and Studio 74 from Palmerston North, and taking some photos of today's Hurricanes under-16 tournament finals. Right, ready for the thrown out. Taken from the top of the line out easily by Wellington through Zion Chalmers-Miller. Wellington now looking to run out of danger and can't quite get the pass away, so good defence by Poverty Bay. They certainly haven't given up in this match as Braith Ingram makes the tackle. Not committing too many to the tackle though, and so the fullback, Boyle Tiatia, is able to get the kick away downtown. Not easily taken out of the air by Gray. So going back for the ball is Kerikeri Tangira. And he tries to swat off the first of the Wellington defenders, but gets taken by the second and then holds on to the ball in the tackle. So Wellington will get the penalty kick. Kerikeri Tangira showing courage, going straight into the wall of Wellington defence. But just holding on to the ball on the tackle. And to be fair to Kerikeri Tangira, he didn't have a lot of support. So he didn't have much by way of an option as the ball is kicked down to the touchline, and pretty good kick too. So you can see the assistant referee's flag flying in the breeze there. Good advantage for Wellington in the second 40 minutes, and probably compared to Poverty Bay using the wind better in terms of getting territorial advantage. Full line-out call, been full line-outs all day as there's just a little smattering of rain. Ball taken from the top of the line-out by number 4, Tane Langdon Lane, but unfortunately the throw wasn't straight. Both sides being guilty of squandering the opportunity through line-out throws. And again, just with the conditions and with the breeze, throwing to the front of the line would be a better option, says the commentator who's never played in the forwards before in his life, but just through observation suggests that might be a better strategy. So number 9 now for Poverty Bay, Carrie Christie, will feed another scrum, defensive scrum. It's on the 22-metre line, 15 metres in from the eastern touchline here at field number 6 at the Sport and Rugby Institute. 31 points to nil, tight head scrum won by Wellington. Good work by the Wellington forward pack. Gives them the chance to get on the front foot now as Wellington start to build a few phases. Taken away by Davies. Davies spots a gap. Great work by the centre, making amends for his earlier yellow card. Ball is slow coming back. Carries the ball midway between the 22 and the 10-metre line. Ball comes back to Gray, shapes the pass. And the ball falls, fortunately for Kerikeri Tangira. His second touch in as many minutes. Slow ball coming back for Christie. Christie decides not to pass on this occasion. He looks like he's a strong ball runner. Manages to get through the first line of defence, but well, the supporting players, and I think it was, not sure who it was, might have been number 13 Davies, just joined the tackle ruck area in an offside position, so Poverty Bay are penalised once more. 31 points to nil, the Saracens Cup. At this stage, looks like it'll be travelling back to Wellington in the team bus. It went down there in 2019. Don't forget there were no finals. There was no under-16 rugby in 2020. So we're really grateful that we're able to play these matches in 2021, and there have been some great fixtures already in the round robin plays. These two finals for the Saracens Cup and Don Broughton Shield, the only two matches being played in Palmerston North today. Scrum is fed by Wellington. Comes out into the midfield, but a loose pass bounces off the dirt, and the pass can't get away for Wellington. But they still maintain possession. Poverty Bay. Kirkpatrick looks to try and get in there quickly and disrupt the pass. He did pretty well too, created some hesitation. So Wellington just forced to think again. This time they run straight through the bulking form of Sione Muffy. He's been good in the scrums today, as this time the kick has taken. The bomb has got plenty of ice on it and might have been knocked on, but players in front were there for Wellington from the kick. Full red offside is the call from referee Ben Cook, so Joe Kemp is penalised. Wellington probably kick for touch, taken quickly though, not waiting about. Poverty Bay will need to stay awake as the kick is taken down the right wing side, and Gray just gets his left toe to it and hacks it into touch. Well, Poverty Bay were lucky there. They'd turned from the penalty, hadn't faced the quick tap. The ball was moved quickly down the right flank, and just the left big toe of number 20, Teramana Gray got the ball into touch. It'll give Wellington the line-out advantage. Line-outs have been troublesome for both teams today, just with the northerly breeze blowing. They keep it to the front this time, which was sensible. The ball taken down by number 19, Zion Chalmers-Miller. Ball comes out into the midfield. And Wellington now building some good phases and pressure. Move the ball to the left wing side, and here comes the 6th try for Wellington. It'll be scored by number 11, Josh Semu, his 2nd of today. 36 points to 0 is the score, and a well-worked set of plays from the line-out, which was taken from the top by Zion Chalmers-Miller, who's come on at half-time. Tall lock forward, then the ball shifted quickly to the left wing side, where Josh Semu picks up a double in the Saracens Cup final for 2021 for Wellington. And Poverty Bay now will be really wondering if they can do anything else. They've certainly had their opportunities on attack inside Wellington's 22, but have come up short on each occasion so far. It's just been Wellington who've been scoring the tries, 6 of them now. And 36 points to 0 is the score, with a conversion kick to come. Goal kicker has changed. And I think it might be number 15, Boyle Tia, who has the kicking responsibilities now. He's been good from fullback as well, just making his way into the backline play, and he finds it a bit tricky in the kicking conditions as well. So 36 points to 0, no change to the score, and probably another 5 to 10 minutes to play. Saracens Cup looking safe in Wellington Rugby's trophy cabinet for another year, unless Poverty Bay can really pull something out in the last 10 minutes of this game. And let's be fair, they've got some good players and they've had opportunities. So it'll start with this man here in the number 20 jersey, Teramana Gray, who's come on at half-time. Puts the ball nice and high down the left wing side, and the ball is not fielded by Wellington. So the try scorer Josh Semu just lets the ball travel between his arms, and as a result Poverty Bay gets straight back onto attack. So it's really good for Poverty Bay. And the flag you can see there is the corner flag. So they've only got 5 metres to go to score perhaps their first try of the afternoon. This is where it might all turn around for the Scarlets. Down by 36 points at the moment. They're capable of scoring tries. They've scored plenty already in this Hurricanes under-16 tournament for 2021. Line-out throw will go to the front, taken by Joe Kemp. Get around him quickly, and number 17, Braden Goley for Wellington, manages to sack the line-out more. In fact, Wellington might have turned the ball over. No, they have turned the ball over, and running out with it is Goley himself, Braden Goley. They take it out another 5 metres or so, and Poverty Bay really want to try and secure possession back if they can. Leilua is industrious over the ball, but he can't get his arms on it, and so there's a chance for Wellington to clear to touch. So a good exit play by Wellington, takes the ball just about up to the halfway line. And once again, Poverty Bay, well, they were 5 metres out from the Wellington goal line, and the ball was won at the top of the line out by Joe Kemp. But they just weren't able to retain possession. Number 17, Braden Goley for Wellington, sacked the maul, and then was able to get his hands on the ball, giving an opportunity for Wellington to clear to touch through Solomon. So it's a line-out ball to Poverty Bay, 36 points to 0. And it comes down on the Wellington side of the scrum, of the line-out, I should say. Not taken cleanly, though. So Wellington forced to scramble. Do pretty well just to swing the ball back round to Solomon Uvaka. He likes sticking out there on that left wing side for the opportunity to carry the ball strongly. Now they shift it right. A little bit of hesitation by Wellington through number 4, Tane Langdon Lane. And the hesitation has been costly for Wellington as they've given away a penalty for Poverty Bay. And number 20 gets straight to the ball, Gray. He had really good purchase on his last kick and managed to carve off a good 30 metres using attacking breeze, the northerly, which is coming over his left shoulder, to get the ball deep inside the Wellington 22. Can he repeat it again? He does pretty well too. So that's been a feature for Poverty Bay in the second 35 minutes. The Touchline kicking by number 20, Tiramana Gray, has been very good. And for the few opportunities that Poverty Bay have been given with ball in hand, kicking by Gray has helped them to get that advantage. So not for the first time in the second 35 minutes, Poverty Bay find themselves with an attacking opportunity inside the Wellington 22. And once again, they can't find the target, but fortuitously for the Scarlets, there's just a little knock on by Wellington. So we'll come out for the scrum signalled by referee Ben Cook. Ben Cook has been right around the motu in this Hurricanes under-16 tournament, and also refereed the Trustbank Central Secondary School Shield for the under-18 teams, and also for the Hurricanes under-20 Cup. He's been very busy through this representative season and has refereed a good game here today as well, just making sure both teams are getting fair and equal advantage with a ball in hand. As Kauri Christie waits for the scrum to be set. Christie, I like the look of that player. He's, I think, got a bit of speed, and he's got a little bit of size as well, and I'd be keen to see him try and take on the Wellington defence around the fringes perhaps a little bit more. We've only seen him on one occasion really do that. He's been shifting the ball wide pretty much all the way through, but with perhaps number 8, Torrance Cribb, on his shoulder, could create a little bit of havoc. Let's see what happens on this occasion. Christie, he decides to pass down the right wing side to Davies. Davies does well to shrug off the tackle of Semu before he gets taken into touch. And well, just a little bit of feeling there as the ball goes into touch. But that was a good little play between the number 9 and the number 13. Paraina Davies spent some time in the sin bin in the first half, but he's certainly given it everything in terms of getting around the field and being a strong ball carrier. However, it'll be a line out 10 metres out from the Wellington goal line, Wellington ball, and we're in the dying embers of the Saracens Cup match for 2021 Hurricanes under-16 tournament. The match being led by Wellington, 36 points to nil, 6 unanswered tries. Ball comes out for Wellington once more. Once again, Solomon just hacks the ball downtown. Does pretty well. There's that man again, Davies. He's not shy at running at the defence, and he loses the ball in the tackle. There are 3 or 4 or 5 Wellington defenders over the ball, and as a result, they now come away with it through Vaka. Towards the halfway line he goes. The big form of the try scorer bundles over Eugene Paul, and Wellington kick the ball further downfield and into touch just on the Poverty Bay 22. Well, I suppose one of the things about Poverty Bay is that the ball runners have been a little bit isolated. When they have had ball in hand, there haven't been too many other Scarlet shirts around, and that's given Wellington, who have been bustling on defence, opportunity to win the ball back. Davies gave it everything there, but it was pretty hard for him with 4 or 5 Wellington defenders. So the line-out throw from Poverty Bay falls on the Wellington side, and the ball rumbles into touch once more. Nick Reid from the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council doing sterling service for the referee, being assistant referee this morning. Warming up on both of the adjoining fields, Manawatu and Hawke's Bay, the second match in these under-16 finals due to kick off at 12 p.m. The referee for the second match this afternoon is Isaac Hughes from Poverty Bay, and it really is an achievement to be awarded the officiating responsibilities for the premier rugby fixture, probably in the Youth Council's program, the Don Broughton Shield. As mentioned, it's been competed for since 1972. Scrum is fed by Wellington, got options left to right. They just move the ball into the open spaces. A little bit of offside play there though by number 12 for Wellington, Vanessa Risale.
I didn't see that picture.
He should have known better really. He just ran behind one of his own players, or his players ran in front of him. So Gray looks to get the ball in touch again, and that's a beauty of a kick from Teramana Gray. Been nothing wrong with his line kicking this afternoon. If there's a story to be written about this Poverty Bay side and the spirit they played in the Saracens Cup final, Teramana Gray, as mentioned, has been one of the good players and just getting his team back on attack in the second 35 minutes. Other good players for Poverty Bay. Ruka Leilua, the loose head prop, has been busy. Ruben Faitiri has had some good carries of the ball as well. Wellington now with ball in hand on this side, inside their own half. Try to run the ball out through number 17. In fact, number 19 is it, Chalmers Miller. Concede a penalty in the process. So Poverty Bay are not done yet. Let's give the ball to that man Gray. Get the ball into touch, or are they going to tap and run? Looks like it might be the tap and run. Nope, here he is. So for all money, it should be a 5-metre line out for Poverty Bay. And let's see number 14, Joe Kemp, take the ball, get a bit of a rolling maul on. Perfect kick by Tadamana Gray. And Poverty Bay now, not for the first time in the second 35 minutes, an identical position. Will look to get the rolling maul and see if they can score their first 5-pointer of the afternoon. Looks like there might be a little bit of an injury to one of the Poverty Bay players. The coach is on the field. Just having a quick check, might be a little bit of a blood injury, I think, to Braith Ingram. He's been good around the loose ball. Hasn't had too many opportunities to break away in this morning's match for the Saracens Cup. So Poverty Bay, Kemp has a chat in the middle of the line-out. They're going to sort out what they're going to do once they receive the ball. Again, throwing to the front would be the money ball, I would have thought. Look at that flag waving in the dead ball corner. Liam from Studio 74 is on hand to take the photo of the try if it's scored. This time the ball falls on the Wellington side once more. So that's disappointment for Poverty Bay, although they're just a metre out from their own goal line, Wellington. They're going to have to be careful here. If they can't get the ball back, they'll get themselves an offside position. Solomon could be under pressure. Well, what will it be? A 22 dropout, I think. Ball might have come off a Poverty Bay player. So referee Ben Cook is not sure. It'll be a 5-metre scrum or a 22 dropout, and it looks like he's called the 5-metre scrum. So the kick was charged by Poverty Bay. However, they're going to get the 5-metre scrum. So another chance for a try for the Scarlets before the full-time whistle. 36 points to 0 is the score at the moment in the Saracens Cup match here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Kia ora koto katoa, and welcome along to this live stream coverage brought to you by Event Tech and Chris Morton on behalf of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council. Thank you to all whānau and supporters who have not attended this match. As mentioned earlier, at alert level 2, the requirements for record keeping in an uncontrolled venue, just something that we can't actually be responsible for, so hence the live stream. But thank you for your consideration and understanding today for this match. Poverty Bay now with a good scoring opportunity. Let's see what the scrum can do. The ball comes out the back. Here's a chance for the number 8 Torrance Cribb to take the ball up towards the goal line. It's slow ball coming back though. Over it quickly is Ruka Leilua. He just secures possession. And still Poverty Bay with ball in hand. Could have been offside play there by Kemp. And the try's been scored, has it? It looks like it has. Well done to Poverty Bay. They scored their first 5-pointer of the Saracens Cup final. Didn't get a jersey number, but we'll give it to the forwards. They've been in Wellington's 22 on numerous occasions through the course of this match. It's the first time that they've managed to dot down, and it's 36 points to 5. Now, a sharp-eyed viewer might have seen the jersey number of the ball carrier that managed to dot that ball down. If so, you can text me. That could be tricky if you don't know my number. But we won't worry about it too much at the moment. We'll just watch for the conversion attempt for Teramana Gray. See if he can bring up 7 points for his team. Kicking into the teeth of the northerly breeze at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Brilliant day, brilliant conditions. The sun is out and the kick goes up towards the posts, but just a little bit too hard in terms of the distance the ball had to travel. So no change to the score, 36 points to 5. It's Wellington leading Poverty Bay the final for the Saracens Cup in 2021. Well done to the Poverty Bay forwards there. It was a good effort. First time where the pressure has turned into points for them this morning. And that's a horrible kick-off by Wellington. It's just gone straight to number 21, Raniera Moran, for Poverty Bay, and gives them another chance with ball in hand. They've certainly played better in the last 10 minutes of this match. Slow ball coming back and a penalty awarded to Poverty Bay against Wellington. I think they'll probably awarded to Wellington, in fact, against Poverty Bay. Ball's kicked through, scooped up by number 15 for Poverty Bay, Colin Loeffler. Kicks down towards the right-hand touchline. Waiting for it was his opposite number, Boyle Tiatia. Decides to run the ball straight back. Can't get the pass away. So if Poverty Bay can get around the ball, they might win position back. They certainly have the momentum just at the moment. Ball comes back on the Wellington side of the ruck though. Box kick, a particularly good one, is fielded easily by Gray. Decides to go for a run this time. Let's see what kind of wheels this man has. Well, something happened there, and number 20, Teramana Gray, looks like he might have injured an ankle or collided with a Wellington player. I'm not 100% sure. Referee Ben Cook will sort that out for us. And if it was an off-the-ball play by number 7, Jackson Mendoza, there could be consequences for it. Let's hope for the best, though, that it was just a slight accident. Looks like that's what referee Ben Cook has determined. And so number 20, Teramana Gray, will just get some attention from the coaching and support staff, although looks like he might have been knocked out. So just taking the precautions. Good news is he's moving and obviously talking, so hopefully he's okay. Referee Ben Cook just goes back to talk to the Wellington side. I'm not sure if he's going to call a player out for a further discussion. So 36 points to 5. There's been 6 tries scored by Wellington so far in the Saracens Cup. 3 of those have been converted. Vaka Solomona was the last try scorer for Wellington, the replacement hooker for the team. Scoring started with Stanley Solomon, the number 10, and also dotting down Josh Semu with 2 tries. Oliver Cuff also scored 1, nearly scored another, but batted the ball down in goal with his right hand, and so the try was disallowed by referee Ben Cook. And just more recently for Poverty Bay, they've scored their first try of the afternoon. 36 points to 5 is the score. Around half an hour to go until the next match in the Hurricanes under-16 finals for 2021. The good news is Teramana Gray is on his feet, although it looks like he's going to the sideline. So I suspect we'll probably see Carlos Howe come back on the field, back into the first receiver, first fives position for the remainder of this match. Conditions have improved as the match has worn on here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. If I can describe the ground to you, there are 3 adjoining fields surrounded by magnificent cypress hedge, which I don't know is about 3 stories high, very well manicured. It's a brilliant rugby facility and a brilliant place to play rugby. And I know that each of the players that are out on the park today will be relishing the experience and the opportunity. On the right-hand side there, Manawatu warming up. And to our left, Hawke's Bay. And neither of those teams, well, we just don't know who will win that match as players restarted. With number 21 for Poverty Bay, Raniera Moran carries the ball up over the halfway line. Slow ball coming back for Poverty Bay though. Shifted out towards the right wing side. Howe is back on the field for the Scarlets. And, well, they just didn't get a player over the ball there, but the Wellington player who got his hands on it was off their feet. So penalty for Poverty Bay. One of the work-ons maybe for this Poverty Bay side is just around support around the ball carrier. That certainly cost them through the course of this match as number 16, Lua Falealo, has a carry of the ball as it's shifted now to the left wing side. Tricky pass coming back though, so getting over the ball quickly is Kerikeri Tangira just to secure possession for his side. Little box kick from Christie's charge down. Very good work though by Poverty Bay for a moment until Wellington just simply ran over the ball through number 22 Ranganui. Shifts the ball to the left hand side of the park now. Wellington 36 points to 5. They score another try before the end of this game. Well, ranging out on the left wing side was Stanley Solomon, but forward pass I think called. And that's it, full time I believe. Folks, here at the Sport and Recreation Ground, it's 36 points to 5. It is Wellington that have retained the Saracens Cup for another year, having won it in 2019. And thank you for your attendance at the match this afternoon, this morning. We'll be back for the second match. Kicks off at 12 p.m. shortly, but I just need to dash down to the field to help with the match presentations. So we'll just hand over to our cameraman Chris Morton, who will keep filming proceedings so you can watch the presentations, which will be underway in just a few minutes from now.
I still gotta go get your guys. Traveling with these boys. We're still heading back and we're gonna celebrate hard. Celebrating by going bowling again.
Hello. Today we're just gonna I just want to say thanks to Jackson for a great game, mate.
Soft. What do you call it?
Jackson, my player of the match.
And then he got let in the little go.
Wooga wooga. Oh yeah.
running away from that, eh?
Yeah,
I thought the boys might have.
Fuck that. I would be so pissed if one of us stepped on me. I could go get the burst now.
Some help.
You played an awesome game today, Ollie. Really well played, mate. Good speed, good coming out there with nothing.
Where's my tea? Kingy boy! Kingy! Woo!
I'll grab this.
Oh, you got that? I'll take something.
That'll be fine, and then, yeah, the rest of it. Yeah, go on, grab the thing back, so it'll be sweet. Thank you.
Oh, Robbie's hilarious. Get out of here. He's always like in a hurry to piss off.
Right, you can tell me when we're live and I can just grab it on from there. Oh, okay. Okay. Right, good. Kia ora koto katoa. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this live stream broadcast from the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston, north of the Don Broughton Shield final for the Hurricanes Under-16 tournament for 2021. Thank you, whānau and supporters, for not attending the match. As everyone will be aware, under COVID Alert Level 2, there are various requirements about recording the movements of people at sport events, and being an uncontrolled venue, we're unable to meet those obligations. So the live stream today, I hope, will provide an opportunity to enjoy this game, which will be a titanic tussle between two teams which, through the earlier rounds of the Under-16 tournament for 2021, have shown fantastic skills and great determination. As everyone will be aware, in 2020 we were unable to hold the tournament at all. There were no games, and this year the tournament was intended to be held in Ruatoria, Ngāti Porou, East Coast, in their centenary year, but unfortunately, again, owing to COVID-19 restrictions, the tournament in Ruatoria needed to be cancelled. However, the good news is we have been able to play the tournament on a home and away type basis through to the finals today in Palmerston North. So, as everyone will be aware, in Division A, the Don Broughton Shield, there are 4 competing teams: Hawke's Bay, Manawatu, Wairarapa Bush and Wellington. The journey for our 2 finalists this afternoon, firstly with Manawatu. A couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or so, Manawatu played Wellington here in Palmerston North, and Manawatu won that match by 52 points to 0. In round 2 of the competition, Manawatu played Hawke's Bay. It was a very close match on that occasion. Manawatu losing that one 34 points to 40. And in round 3, Manawatu played Wairarapa Bush and won that game 54 points to 21. So, in terms of competition points coming into this final match, Manawatu had played 3, they'd won 2, lost 1, 86 points for, 94 points against, 4 bonus points and 12 competition points overall. Hawke's Bay, in terms of their road to the final, in the first round of the competition, defeated Wairarapa Bush by 40 points to 10. We've already mentioned the match result against Manawatu, which was 40 points to 34 in the second round. In round 3, Hawke's Bay defeated Wellington by 22 points to 14. That was on Wednesday last week. And that really sealed the finals for 2021. Meaning that Hawke's Bay are the top seed for this final match, having played 3, won 3, they've scored 102 points, they've conceded 58, they have 3 bonus points and 15 competition points overall. So The competition points in Division A, Hawke's Bay 15, Manawatu 12, Wellington 5, and Wairarapa Bush 0. So the consolation final for third place will be played between Wellington and Wairarapa Bush at Potador Park in Wellington this afternoon. I think kickoff for that match is 2:30 p.m. I'm not sure if that one's being live streamed, but certainly the one you're about to see is. For the Don Broughton Shield, the Don Broughton Shield has been competed for within the Hurricanes region since 1972. Over that period of time, Hawke's Bay have won the trophy 22 times. Manawatu have only won it 3 times. So Manawatu will be very keen to get their 4th win of this taonga of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council this afternoon as they now come onto the field. The Manawatu team today, the front row is Michael Stassen, Eli Udrin and Logan Wallace. The locking partners are Liam Powell and Andre Teitinga. The loose forward trio for Manawatu today are Quinn Sturmey, Tom Ilston Park, and at number 8, Mosesi Basin. Moving to the backs at halfback today for Manawatu, Josh Langridge. Liam O'Connor is at 10. Nixta Tafolo on the left wing side. Ben Fakava at second 5'8". Matt Florence at 13. Aaron Christensen on the right wing side. And Elijah Edwards Martin at fullback. The reserves for Manawatu today, number 16 Sam Marsoe, Josiah Johnston in the 17 jersey, Lachlan Nikolayenko in jersey number 18, Elijah Lokini in 19, Wananga Matenga in jersey number 20, and Lave Miller in jersey 21, and in jersey number 22, Hawani Hedewini Daigas. That's the Manawatu side for you this afternoon. The match referee from Poverty Bay has travelled down from Gisborne to officiate this match, Isaac Hughes. He is the top referee in terms of the local seeding undertaken for referee appointments through the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council for 2021. It is really the number 1 appointment for the region for any representative season, so he'll be looking very much forward to the opportunity today, assisted by assistant referees from the Manawatu Rugby Referees Association. Turning to the Hawke's Bay side, quickly running through the team for you. The tight forwards today, Tasman Soanai Oweti. At hooker today, Manaya Haweti. At tight head prop, Maiti Aif. The locking partners today for Hawke's Bay, Angus Prouting and Taufa Kalfanonga. The loose forward trio, Oscar Ritchie, Oliver Barham and Tilia Famui. At number 9 today for the Junior Magpies, Joel Russell. Preston Fatarau in jersey 10. On the left wing side, Hewitt Tremaine. In the midfield at 12, Tali Iowasa. Joshua Augustine is at centre. Cesar Faso on the right wing side. And at fullback today, Monty Timu. The reserves for Hawke's Bay in the 16 jersey, Juan Ross. 17 is Isaiah Craig. 18, Patrick Maunga. 19, Henry Taylor. Isaiah Tuilau in 20. Mokau Lambert in 21 and Iosefa Sa in jersey number 22. Those are your teams for this afternoon's coverage from field number 6 at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. This venue is one of the premier rugby venues in New Zealand, and as many viewers may be aware, at one stage was intended to be the premier and primary rugby training and development centre for New Zealand rugby. It is now operated by Massey University, and the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council and the New Zealand Schools Rugby Union, together with other rugby development programs, make use of this facility on an ongoing basis. So we hope you enjoy the coverage this afternoon. Manawatu are playing from north to south as we look at the field here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. As referee Hughes signals time on, the kickoff fielded by number 11 Tremaine, taken to the ground, but the ball recycled quickly and passed up to Sonai Oweti, the loose head prop. Reaching in for the ball, Russell. Slow ball coming back, and Timu is to think for a moment about what he's going to do. Decides to put the boot to his right foot, the ball to his right boot, I should say. Kicks the ball into touch 10 metres inside Hawke's Bay territory. there is quite a blustery northerly breeze in Palmerston North this afternoon, and that's favouring the home side, Manawatu, as they play from north to south. Line-out throw is good though for Manawatu. Quickly the ball comes into midfield, and the green side charge up towards the Hawke's Bay 22. Untidy pass is retrieved by Edwards Martin in the finish, and he does pretty well too, just to straighten the line of attack for Manawatu, brings the ball back into the centre of the field, recycled by Langridge, and a big tackle put on the next ball carrier. Now Manawatu with an opportunity to build a bit of pressure down the left wing side. They do pretty well too through Tafolo. Big defence from number 4, Angus Prouting from Hawke's Bay, as they look to staunch the attack from Manawatu. Ball comes out on the left wing side, and good pressure being built by the green team. Unfortunately, a little unforced error there. 2 players looking to take the ball at the same time, and an unforced error with a knock-on will bring to an end the promising period of attack for Manawatu, and the first opportunity for set-piece play will be with Hawke's Bay for a defensive scrum. It'll be on the 22-metre line, 15 metres in from the eastern touchline here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. And both sides really showing their intent so far. Big defence from Hawke's Bay and equally strong attack from Manawatu. We're in for a cracking game. 40 points to 34 was the score when they last met, and on that occasion it was Hawke's Bay who came up trumps. Number 9 for Hawke's Bay, Russell, feeds the scrum. Links up in the midfield with number 12 Iowasa, although the ball is lost and it's scooped up by Manawatu, as they now are only 5 metres out from the Hawke's Bay goal line. Manawatu with a great opportunity here to open the scoring through number 12, Ben Pakava. Out to the left now, and Hawke's Bay are being forced to defend with everything they've got, as they're now only a metre away from the line. Hawke's Bay over the line, they will go, and that's the first try of the match, scored by number 1, Michael Stasson for Manawatu. It's 5 points to 0 here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Fantastic start by Manawatu. Right from the kickoff, they've put their foot on the throat of the Hawke's Bay team and built phases of pressure, rewarded by Michael Stasson. The ball did come back on the Hawke's Bay side, but unfortunately they were unable to clear, decided to run rather than kick, and maybe kicking could have been the better of the 2 options. So now number 10, Liam O'Connor for Manawatu will have the opportunity to add the extras, but a very good start for Manawatu as they look to secure the Don Broughton Shield for the 5th time since 1972. The way these matches scores determine the outcome is that in the first instance, if the scores are tied at the conclusion of normal time, unsuccessful kick from O'Connor. If the scores are tied at full time, there is no extra time played in these matches, and the winner will be the team that beat the other in the round robin competition, which means that should the scores be tied this afternoon at the Sport and Rugby Institute, it'll be Hawke's Bay who will walk away with the Shield for 2021. I'm sure Manawatu have a very different storyline that they're playing out, and we've seen already what they're capable of doing as players restarted. Down towards the left wing side, and ball bounces into touch. So it'll be Hawke's Bay ball. That's a pretty good kickoff by Hawke's Bay, and they'll look to maximise this opportunity as Manaya Hawiti gets his first throw to the line out. Assistant referee on the far side, Ben Cook. You can see the strength of the wind through the assistant referee's flag. It's really advantaging the Manawatu side in the first 35 minutes of this match. Ball taken nicely from the top of the line out, and Russell is able to shift the ball into midfield. We're waiting for it as Soane Oweti. Reaching in for the ball again, Russell, and concedes a penalty. So, referee Isaac Hughes says holding on the tackle. Manawatu had players over the ball, and number 10 Liam O'Connor will look to carve off some good metres here with the benefit of the northerly breeze behind him. Does pretty well too. Line out will be formed on the halfway line. And apart from that very brief moment, the Hawke's Bay side haven't been out of their own side of the field so far in this match. Ball's taken by Manawatu. Swung into the midfield, and good hands until the commentator's curse affected number 7 Tom Ilston Park. An unforced error. There were good hands as the ball was being shifted wider, but Ilston Park perhaps was eyeing up the gap or the defending player coming towards him. As a result, concedes a set-piece scrum to Hawke's Bay. So they will now look in the centre of the field, really on the halfway line, to build an attack. The backs are split equally, left and right. On the right-hand side, number 10, Fatarau, Tremaine, and Faso. Ball comes out on the left wing side though, and is kicked down towards the goal area. Great chase going on for the ball from Sezia Faso, and will come out for the dropout 22. 5 points to 0 is the score if you've just joined us. This is the Don Broughton Shield final between Hawke's Bay and Manawatu in the 2021 Hurricanes Under-16 tournament. Long dropout is kicked down, the wind carrying it down towards the Hawke's Bay 22. Fielded there by Fatarau. Fatarau shifts the ball to the left. Now there's a chance down the left wing side for number 13 Augustine, although he's taken in a great tackle by his counterpart Matt Florence. Hawke's Bay recycle the ball though. Soanai Oweti again taken in a good tackle by Basin. And Manawatu managed to get the ball away, but do so illegally. In fact, it was offside play, says referee Hughes. So Hawke's Bay will now have a penalty kick about where the last scrum was going to be formed at the centre, or was formed at the centre of the halfway line. So options left or right. And probably kicking to the right-hand side to the eastern touchline is the right thing to do. The sun has been out this afternoon at the Sport and Rugby Institute. It's just become a little bit overcast again, which has caused this commentator to put his jacket back on, given that it's cooled down just a little notch. And assistant referee Ben Cook signals the line of touch, which will be just outside the midway between the halfway and the 22. Manaya Hoeti to throw the ball to the line out, short line out called. And it misses its target, so it'll fall on the Manawatu side. In fact, it's come back on the Hawke's Bay side, so that's great work for Hawke's Bay. Once again, the ball is swung wide. This time, though, number 12, Iwasa, decides not to pass. Just happy to take the tackle. Allows halfback Russell to recycle the ball. But Soanai Oweti is the next ball carrier. Russell reaches in, finds Timu. Timu shuffles the ball on to number 5, Kaufanonga. Well, one or two bodies over the ball, but they do so illegally, entering the ruck from an offside position. So referee Hughes signals another penalty against the home side. Not playing at their home ground, of course, so a bit of a neutral territory for both sides. And Hawke's Bay have called for the scrum. So there's a reasonable blindside where this scrum is formed. It's 15 metres in from the western touchline, probably about 5 to 10 metres out from the Manawatu goal line. And we've already seen number 14 for Hawke's Bay, Cesar Faso, who's playing on the left wing side with the ball. He comes in on the charge, takes the ball strongly up towards the Manawatu defensive line. Ball's passed out again. Good hands by Hawke's Bay into the arms of the fullback, Timu. Timu taken in the tackle, just shy of the goal line. Hawke's Bay recycle. And that big bulking form of Faumui, I should say. Carries strongly up towards the line, but this time Hawke's Bay are guilty of holding on to the ball in the tackle. And Talea Faumui can probably afford to let the ball go a little bit earlier. Probably he was a little bit isolated there, so didn't have too many options, but the net effect of that is he's conceded a penalty against his side, and you can see the strength of the northerly breeze, which has carried the penalty kick right up towards, well, midway between the halfway and the 10-metre line. So that's good advantage for Manawatu now, as Eli Underin throws to the short line out, taken cleanly. And now Manawatu look to launch another attack. Hint of an offside there by Manawatu, but play on, says referee Hughes, as the supporting players get in over the ball. Down the left wing side, Manawatu now with chance. And number 14, well, in fact it was number 11 for Manawatu, couldn't get his hands to the ball. So we will come back for the scrum, which will be Hawke's Bay advantage. This coverage being brought to you by Video Hub, their team at Event Tech. Chris Morton on the camera. Delighted to have this opportunity to bring you live pictures from the Sport and Rugby Institute, where the score is 5-0. Loosehead prop Michael Stassen for Manawatu scoring in the opening minutes of this match. Scrum is read by Russell for Hawke's Bay, but the front rows go down. So the scrum will be reset. Number 1, you can see on shot there, Tasman Soanai Oweti has been pretty industrious already through the course of this match. Strong ball carrier, as has number 8, who's also in picture now, Talia Faumui. Both of them, I think, are strike players for this Hawke's Bay side. Russell now feeds the scrum. Big shunt comes in from Manawatu though. Untidy ball coming back, and Manawatu win the penalty. Well, the call against Maiti EF for Hawke's Bay for boring in on the scrum. So Manawatu will look to carve off a good 10, 15, 20 metres with this. Put the ball into touch midway between the 10-metre and 22-metre line in Hawke's Bay territory. But on Broughton Shield, you can just see on the table in the back of shot there, as mentioned, donated by Don Broughton, Horowhenua Kapiti Kaumatua in 1972 to develop youth rugby. Manawatu take the line out through Mosese Basin. Ball comes back into midfield now. And great work by the number 12, who's been industrious already today, Ben Fakava. Chance to shift the ball wide, Manawatu, through Edwards Martin. And he's penalised for holding on to the ball on the tackle. So tap taken quickly, and advantage played for not retiring 10 metres. Russell decides to tap and go, and we'll come back for the 10-metre advantage. Provides Hawke's Bay with more of an opportunity now just to settle things down a little bit and perhaps get some good distance in terms of the touchline. Monty Timu will be the kicker. Line out formed midway between the 10-metre and the 22-metre line on the western side of the field, with Manaya Hawiti to throw to the line. 1 minute ago we were in a similar position on the western side of the field, deep inside Hawke's Bay territory. Let's see what Hawke's Bay can do on this occasion. Short line out called. Number 4, Angus Prouting, looks the likely target. Running in comes Sinai Oweti, but he's told to go back out. So watch for number 4 to take this ball from the line out. And I got that one wrong. So Kofanunga is the target, and Russell can't hold on to the ball once it is taken from the top. So unforced error there really for Hawke's Bay. Manawatu will breathe a little sigh of relief. The intensity of the match you can already see. Games moving from one end of the park to the other relatively easily and quickly. Only 6 points was the difference between these teams when they first met in round 2 of the competition in 2021. Of course, there was no under-16 rugby at all in 2020 owing to COVID, and we thank all of whānau and supporters who have not attended this match, given it's an uncontrolled venue and we are unable to meet our COVID regulatory requirements at this venue. All is fed by Josh Langridge, Out into the back line now. This time the kick comes through. It's not a bad one as well, though it's taken well by number 8, Whamui. As well for this Hawke's Bay side to bring possession back, but concedes a penalty again. Second time so far in this first half that number 8, Talea Whamui, has conceded penalties, and now Hawke's Bay concede another 10 metres. Taken quickly and knocked on. So play on with the advantage. Off goes Oliver Barham for Hawke's Bay. Just a little bit of impatience there by Manawatu. They would have been a lot better just to slow things down for a moment and allow the pressure to be put back onto Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay, though, now with ball in hand, centre of the field on the halfway line. 5 points to 0. Manawatu ahead. Ball comes out on the right wing side now. Looking to link up is number 13, Augustine. Whatarau shifts the ball to the left again. Whamui is the target. Russell gets there quickly. Passes the ball out to Kalfanonga. He links up with Soanai Oeti. On the left wing side is Barham. Barham up towards the goal line for Hawke's Bay. Well, Manawatu got the sniff of a turnover here. And so, in fact, they have done pretty well too. Manawatu will be very happy with that. Hawke's Bay, not quite sure how they lost possession. But at the end of the day, it's all academic as Manawatu now look to run the ball out, and referee Hughes will now come back. Offside play against Hawke's Bay. So Manawatu with a relieving kick down the western touchline. Territory has probably been pretty even through the opening stages of this match. As mentioned, Manawatu do have the advantage of the northerly breeze, and they will look to cash in as much as they possibly can. This ground, despite the very tall cypress hedges that you can see around the perimeter, is well known as a windy location, and today is no exception. Makes it tough for the line-out throwers in particular, though they've been pretty good so far. In the earlier match, Saracens Cup wasn't quite so easy. Manawatu now with ball in hand, looking to move it upfield, and ripped away very well indeed by Hawke's Bay, giving Russell the opportunity to recycle. Goes to the right through Tamui. Slow ball coming back, and Manawatu penalised for not rolling away. So options here for Hawke's Bay. It's 5 points to 0, and every point counts in these finals matches. On this occasion, Timu decides we'll go for the set-piece line-out, maybe the rolling maul. It's only a 5-point margin at the moment, 5 points to 0. And Manawatu and Hawke's Bay have really come back into the match after being shocked early by the try by the loose head prop for Manawatu, Michael Starson. So Manaya Hawiti is the hooker. He'll throw to the line out on the 5 metre. Again, short line out called. Intercepted by Manawatu, so Hawke's Bay will be disappointed by that. The target was Angus Prouting, but Manawatu have done pretty well. It's come back on the Hawke's Bay side though, so all is not lost as Taumui takes the ball and drops it, but will come back for the first advantage, which was a knock on by Manawatu in the line out. So the line out will be set on the 5 metre mark, 5 metres out from the goal line, 5 metres in from the western touchline, which gives Hawke's Bay an attractive launch pad to score their first points of the afternoon here at the Sport and Rugby Institute, Palmerston North. Culmination of the under-16 tournament in 2021 as Russell feeds the ball. This time Whamui stays on the back. The ball swings out into the midfield, into the hands of Timu. Out onto the left wing side to Césaire. Faso. And he's bundled into touch. So the line-out will form. It'll be Manawatu ball. And that attack was shut down pretty easily by the Manawatu side. So they'll be pretty happy with their defensive work so far. Both sides have been pretty good with ball in hand. As mentioned in the earlier game, the Saracens Cup, which was played at 10 a.m. this morning. Both line-outs found it a little bit difficult with the conditions. On this occasion, Manawatu do remarkably well. And then the ball is lost as number 4 for Manawatu, Liam Powell, was launching himself upfield. So Hawke's Bay now sweep back onto attack. Russell reaches in for the ball. Gives the ball out into the midfield to Hawiti, right in front of the posts. And Witty is able to get the ball to the deck, giving Russell the opportunity to recycle. Ball swings out towards the right-hand side of the field to the eastern touchline. And a penalty against Manawatu. So not maintaining their feet. What are the options here for Manawatu, Hawke's Bay? They've had a couple of penalties in this situation. And they've decided not to take the points again. Well, that's a really kickable opportunity. And if it was me, although I'm not out there on the field, at a 5-point margin, I'd be keen just to claw a few points back, given the territory that I've enjoyed so far. 5 points to 3 wouldn't be so bad for Hawke's Bay, particularly since they've been going pretty well into the wind. However, they're going to go for the set-piece scrum, so we'll see what happens with this. Russell can go left or right, decides to go left to Whatarau. Whatarau feeds the ball up into the midfield to Iawasa. Iawasa up to the line and scores the try. Well, just as well the teams aren't listening to the commentator, because that was a well-worked move and good reward for number 12, Tali Iawasa, who scores the first try for Hawke's Bay to level the scores. It's 5 points all at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. Around 15 minutes played so far in this match. 35-minute halves. As mentioned, if the scores are tied on the full-time whistle, it'll be Hawke's Bay who walk away with the Shield in 2021. That'll be for their 23rd time. They've won it 22 times already since its launch in 1972. In fact, no provincial union has won the Shield more times than Hawke's Bay. Wellington is next on the list with 17 victories. They were the last holders in 2019. They brought their B team brought the Shield back up on the bus from Wellington this morning to Palmerston North. So no mistake made with that conversion kick. It is now 7 points to 5. Hawke's Bay leading Manawatu in the Don Broughton Shield final for 2021. Live stream for you, courtesy of Eventec. Players restarted by O'Connor. Centre kick, which is fielded easily by Barham for Hawke's Bay. He meets the defensive line at the same time as he takes the high ball. Soana Oweti. Russell to Timu. Looks for opportunities to kick. Decides the right-hand side of the field is the right place to go to. And unfortunately, he was outside the 22 when he took the kick. So a little bit of a mistake there by a very good fullback, Monte Timu. He'll be a bit disappointed by the outcome of that, but certainly no disappointment in the eyes of the Manawatu side. The forwards now just working out what move they're going to run from the line out, as going to the line of touch is Eli Udenrin. Both of these sides have racked up big wins against their opponents so far in 2021, so it's a very fitting final and one that's been keenly anticipated around the region. Ball falls on the Hawke's Bay side of the field, so disappointment. No functioning line out for Manawatu so far, though the ball is bundled into touch and will rinse and repeat, as they say. So Hawke's Bay did well to get their arms on the ball, although at the end of the day the Hawke's Bay player was bundled into touch. So Udenrin will get another opportunity to throw. Does well, gets the ball to Basin. The maul is sacked, so it forces Ilston Park to carry straight round the side of the ensuing ruck. And the straight and direct route is what Udenrin wants to take as well, the lively hooker for Manawatu. Now only 5 metres out from the Hawke's Bay goal line. They should keep the ball tight and not give it too much width, as Taufui is forced to defend for Hawke's Bay. Ball still with Manawatu. They're only inches away from scoring their second try. Up to the line they go. And very good defence by Hawke's Bay has just pushed them back. In fact, Hawke's Bay have turned over the ball. That's excellent defensive work. Gives an opportunity now for Whatarau to clear the touch. Can't do so though. It's taken on the left wing side by Tafolo. Tafolo, the cover defence got him easily just inside the 22. And Manawatu sweep back onto attack. Slow ball coming back though, but they're not done yet. Straight up the middle goes number 5, Te Tinga. Manawatu still only 5 metres away from the goal line, looking for their second score of the afternoon. Udaran, the hooker, goes straight up the middle. Hawke's Bay being forced to defend. Next to carry the ball is the try scorer, Stassen. And a little knock on is called just as Logan Wallace, the tight head prop for Manawatu, appeared to go over the line and score the second try. So let off there for Hawke's Bay. But Manawatu, in terms of their forward work so far in this match, are showing a little bit of domination, certainly around that tackle ruck area. And Hawke's Bay will be very thankful that there was just a little knock on called there by referee from Poverty Bay, Isaac Hughes, which has created some brief respite for them on their own 5 metre line. They lead the game 7 points to 5. The try is scored by 12, Tali Iwasa. Ball comes back to the try scorer, Iwasa. Swings the ball wide. It's danger though. It goes to nobody, in and goal. And we're not sure what happened there, whether or not the Hawke's Bay player touched the ball down, number 14, Cesar Faso. He did. The ball is carried back into in goal, which means that it will be an attacking scrum to Manawatu, immediately in front of our commentary position here at the Sport and Rugby Institute on field number 6, Palmerston North. And that was really a pass to nobody by Hawke's Bay. They were very lucky not to concede a try. And Manawatu will be relishing this opportunity, that's for sure. There's a big blind side to the left-hand side of the scrum as you're looking at it, and I won't be surprised if perhaps number 8, Mosesi Basin, links up with Langridge, the halfback, and the old run around the side of the scrum, and then maybe we'll see Aaron Christensen finish it off. Wasn't a bad call, but it's the number 8 who goes up to the line. He's on the line. That's a try scored from where we can see it to Mosesi Basin, although referee says play on, and offside called. Quick tap taken by Unaran, although he was running backwards for Manawatu. And the try is scored there. Well, they were not given the try the first time round, but the second time round they made no mistake. That was Logan Wallace, the tight head prop for Manawatu. Scores their second of the afternoon. Takes the score out to 10 points to 7. Well, as mentioned, the Manawatu forwards have really brought the game to Hawke's Bay in the opening 25 minutes of this match. And whilst the score is tight, they are exerting a little bit of dominance when it counts inside the Hawke's Bay 22. So Hawke's Bay, having just scored a converted try of their own, will be keen to try and not allow that happen again. The conversion successful by number 10, Liam O'Connor. 12 points to 7 is the score here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. The Don Broughton Shield final for 2021 between Manawatu and Hawke's Bay. The 2 props for Manawatu have been the try scorers, number 1, Michael Stassen, and number 3, Logan Wallace. And that's kind of been an indication of how Manawatu are playing the game. As plays restarted by Whataral down towards the western touchline, fielded by Manawatu, but not successfully. So Andre Tatinga just being a little bit, well, I wasn't going to say lazy, but could have taken a bit more care to keep the ball in there. And Tatinga carries the ball into touch on the Manawatu 22, which gives Hawke's Bay the opportunity for an attacking line-out throw. For Hawke's Bay, Prouting is standing at the front of the line-out. The lanky lock forward. Kyle Whanonga might be the target. In fact, the target is number 6, Oscar Ritchie. Ball comes out to Barham. Barham's wrapped up by the Manawatu defence. Russell recycles the ball, passes it out to Ritchie, who's now in midfield. Russell once more. In goes the fullback, Timu. He's dumped in the tackle. Hawke's Bay showing some patience here as Falmui. does well just to straighten the attack. Whatara now swings the ball out onto the right wing side. An unforced error by number 13, Josh Augustine. Puts the ball back on the Manawatu side of the field. And here's a chance for them down the left wing side now with number 11, Nixta Pafolo. Carries the ball outside the 22. Gives Langridge a chance to recycle. Next ball carrier is Tatinga. Langridge. Out onto the right wing side, and here we go now. There's a little bit of an overlap for Manawatu. In fact, there is nobody in front of the right winger, Aaron Christensen, and he's going to score the third try of the afternoon. Aaron Christensen for Manawatu. Dots down, unopposed. There was an overlap on the right wing side. Christensen had to scamper 50 metres, but did so with apparent ease. And all of a sudden, Manawatu go out to a 17 points to 7 lead here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Well, great work by Manawatu there, and just when we're extolling the virtues of the tight forwards for Manawatu, Manawatu give the ball some space and send Christensen away down the right wing side. He certainly had a clean pair of heels, and there was no cover defence for Hawke's Bay. So a straight run into the goal line 50 metres out, and now O'Connor with a chance to add the extras. 17 points to 7, Palmerston North. Well, the flags are raised with the assistant referees. 19 points to 7 is the score. And all of a sudden, Hawke's Bay, having taken the lead about 5 to 10 minutes ago, are now starting to slip behind in this match. So Whatara will be looking to get the ball deep inside the Manawatu 22. Have his forwards chasing through to get Manawatu under a little bit more pressure in the second 35 minutes of this game. Preston Whatara puts the ball up high, and it's not cleanly taken by Manawatu. Hawke's Bay will have the advantage for the knock-on. Isaac Hughes will now call for the scrum. Midway between the 10 metre and the 22 metre line inside Manawatu territory. And some of these little skills are the ones that can be important differences in the outcome of big fixtures, such as the one we're watching today, the final for the Don Broughton Shield. Feeding the ball, Joel Russell gives the ball off to Faumui, who goes for a stroll down the right wing side of the field. Taken in the tackle just inside the Manawatu 22. Now they look to straighten the line of attack a little bit through Soanai Aweti. Russell reaches in once more, decides to change the direction, put the ball out on the right wing side where Ritchie was waiting for it. Left and right go Hawke's Bay. Hawiti now the ball carrier. Taken in the tackle inside the Manawatu 22. Bit more width on the ball now as it comes out onto the left wing side. And unfortunately for Cesar Faso, the pass was not a good one. So it falls onto the Manawatu side. Little knock on, and a Manawatu scrum will be the result of that exchange. So one difference between the two sides, perhaps at this early stage, if you're watching this live stream, Manawatu seem to be running a little more directly at the defensive line. Hawke's Bay are certainly looking for holes in the Manawatu defence, but moving the ball side to side is giving opportunity and time and space for the Manawatu defence to organise themselves, which is just pressuring the pass that Hawke's Bay needs to make, and as a result causing little unforced errors such as we saw there by Cesar Faso, the left winger for Hawke's Bay. Big shunt comes on from the big Hawke's Bay pack though. That's a really good scrum by Hawke's Bay. In fact, it's a tight hit and they've won the penalty. So anything the Manawatu forward pack can do, the Hawke's Bay pack can match them. And I'll be pretty happy about that. Stepping forward is Timu, who's going to kick the ball to touch. So they're just on the 22, and the ball will go into touch about 10 metres out from the Manawatu goal line. As you can see with the assistant referee's flag, there's quite a bit of a breeze here at the Sport and Rugby Institute this afternoon. We hope you're enjoying this live stream coverage for those that are not able to be here this afternoon. Throwing to the line out, Hawiti. And intercepted once more by Manawatu, and a good clearing kick made by Langridge. And my word, that was a fast 35 minutes. It only seems like we've just started the game. But there we are at half-time already. The score is 19 points to 7. 3 tries to 1. 2 conversions to Manawatu, 1 to Hawke's Bay. The try for Hawke's Bay, scored by number 12, Tali Iowasa, was converted by the first 5, Preston Whatarau. For Manawatu, there have been tries scored by the 2 props, number 1, Michael Stassen, and number 3, Logan Wallace. And then a beauty of a try scored by the diminutive winger, Aaron Christensen, in the number 14 jersey, who scorched his way 50 metres downfield and scored a try untouched and unopposed with an overlap towards the end of the first half. 2 conversions successfully kicked by number 10, Liam O'Connor, means that Manawatu, for only the 5th time since 1972, have an opportunity in the next 35 minutes to secure a little bit of Don Broughton Shield history and win the coveted trophy for the 5th time. As mentioned, the competition in 2021 has been disrupted by COVID-19. We would like to thank and acknowledge all of those who would like to be at this match today but who have not attended. Whānau and supporters. At alert level 2, organisers of sport events are required to record the details of everybody present. It's a regulatory requirement, so an uncontrolled venue such as the Sport and Rugby Institute, that's a little difficult for us to manage, hence the live stream opportunity this afternoon. Thank you to the team from Event Tech with Chris Morton, who are providing the pictures and images. And earlier this afternoon, in fact earlier today at 10 a.m, we had the Saracens Cup final for Division B of the Hurricanes Under-16 tournament. That match was won 36 points to 5 by the defending champions Wellington against Poverty Bay, who towards the end of the game scored their only points. Both teams came in with a strong round-robin track record, but Wellington were just a little too strong, scoring 5 tries and 3 conversions through the course of the 70 minutes. These matches, of course, being 70 minutes in duration and no extra time played. So Manawatu will be feeling that this could be their afternoon. They will play into the wind in the second 35 minutes, but as all watchers of rugby around the Motu will be aware, when you're playing into the wind, sometimes the passes just stick a little bit easier, and sometimes if you keep the ball in hand, you do actually get better momentum upfield. Hawke's Bay, of course, I imagine will be looking to use the breeze to their advantage by kicking for the south-eastern corner, which is to your right-hand side if you look at the image in front of you at the moment, and use that opportunity to build some pressure in phases against this Manawatu side. One of the interesting features of this competition, of course, is that at the under-16 level, all the reserves must play half a game, so we will see some changes through the second half. Coming onto the field will be Sam Masoi, Josiah Johnson, Lachlan Nikolayenko, Elijah Lokini, Wananga Matanga, Lave Miller and Hawani Harini Daigas for Manawatu. And coming on for Hawke's Bay will be Juan Ross, Isaiah Craig, Patrick Manga, Henry Taylor, Isaiah Tulilau, Mokau Lambert and Iosefa Sa. So the reserves will come on, and that can always change a match as well, although at this level of rugby, every player 1 through 22 is at an equivalent level of skill, standard and competence, and the coaches in deciding how they wanted to build their teams for this match will have, of course, looked at how each of these individual players can build into a game plan that is going to best suit their requirements to win the Shield in 2021. Hawke's Bay, victorious 22 times. 22 times, did I say? Yes, 22 times. If they win today, that'll be the 23rd victory. So they know how to win this trophy, and in the past few years, the Don Broughton Shield has been won between Hawke's Bay and Wellington. with Wellington having had the better run of things over the past decade. Manawatu, of course, though, for the first time in many years, have put together a very competitive side. Not to say that sides in past years weren't competitive, but this year in particular, they have a little bit of that X factor, which has taken them out to a 19 points to 7 lead as the reserves now make their way to the side of the field. And we get ready for the second 35 minutes here at field number 6, the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. Live pictures being brought to you by the team at Event Tech and Video Hub. The recorded images will be provided through some medium. We haven't quite determined which yet after the matches. So Chris Morton, thank you for your assistance and the team in arranging this, arranging the coverage today. Also, we have on site today Studio 74, who are taking still images, camera photos, and these will also be available online for anybody to view at the conclusion of this match, as referee Isaac Hughes from Poverty Bay signals time on, and advantage immediately for Aaron Christensen, the try scorer for Manawatu, who was taken in the air as he retrieved the ball from the kickoff. However, Manawatu is still playing with the advantage. A little interchange there with Ilston Park allows Manawatu to carry the ball up over the halfway line, but we'll come back for the first infringement, which was the not quite a tip tackle. If it was a tip tackle, it would have been a yellow card, but it certainly was a dangerous tackle by Hawke's Bay on number 14, try scorer from the first half, Aaron Christensen. In fact, referee Hughes is going to have a chat to the Hawke's Bay captain now, just to remind him, Tali Iwasa, about the importance of safety, and I'm sure that the message has been well received. So, penalty kick to Manawatu to start proceedings. Shaken away to the western touchline by number 20, Walanga Matenga. But that's okay. He found touch, which is the most important thing, which will give number 16, who's on the field now, Sam Marsoi, the opportunity to throw to the line. In fact, it's not Marsoi who's throwing, but it is Marsoi who ends up getting the ball. Not straight was the call. And in the Saracens Cup match, one of the things we did note is that the wind did play havoc with the line-out throws, and suggestion was made by your commentator that maybe teams would be better to throw to the front of the line-out rather than try the long throws, because they tended to end up on the wrong side of the line-out for the throwing team. Hawke's Bay with ball in hand. There's been a change at the halfback as well. Free kick called. And the replacement halfback, number 21 for Hawke's Bay, Mokal Lambert, runs forward with the ball. Hawke's Bay with possession. Carry the ball up towards the halfway line. Forwards get there in numbers, but then concede a penalty. Holding on to the ball in the tackle. Well, number 8 for Manawatu, Mosese Basin, seems to think that the best opportunity for the team ahead is to use it quickly, which is what they do. So it comes out onto the left wing side now, and a great pair of hands and a great pair of heels by Matt Florence. The number 13 for Manawatu carries the ball to within 10 metres of the goal line. They quickly recycle. Masoi again with the ball. Sam Masoi straightens the line of attack. Manawatu playing with the same grit and determination that we saw in the first 35 minutes. Carries strongly, 10 metres out from the Hawke's Bay goal line, looking for their 4th try. Bonus points don't matter this afternoon. It's win or lose for Manawatu. Draws don't count. It'll have to be a victory. And they've got 19 points to 7 on Hawke's Bay at the moment. Over the ball is Lachlan Nikolayenko for Manawatu. And still moving forward go the Manawatu forwards. Rinse and repeat, as we saw in the first half. Now they give the ball some air. Out to the big bustling centre, Matt Florence once more. Falling over the ball was number 20 for Hawke's Bay, Isaiah Tuilau. Sam Masoi again, carries strongly, tipped up. Maintains possession, reaching in for the ball goes Langridge. Slower ball coming back though this time. And given up to Josiah Johnston for Manawatu. Change of direction again down the left wing side. And the try is scored. That is the 4th try of the afternoon. And we'll get the try scorer's number in just a moment. That's all right. No worries, Chris. 24 points to 7 all of a sudden here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. And Manawatu strike first in the second 35 minutes. Well, Hawke's Bay will be a little bit rocked by that try. And I'm sure they've been a little bit rocked ever since they scored their own try in the first half, because it's been 3 unanswered scores from Manawatu, as number 20, Juananga Matenga, has the opportunity to add the extras. Number 10, Liam O'Connor's day is done. He's kicked a couple of conversions in the first half for Manawatu. And channeling Damien McKenzie is number 20, Juananga Matenga. Left footer, puts the ball up to the post. Does pretty well too. The McKenzie trick worked. 26 points to 7. Manawatu. Well, I'd have to say, if you're watching this live stream, I wasn't necessarily expecting that the score would perhaps go out to this extent between these two sides. In the round robin match between the two teams, it was Hawke's Bay who were victorious, 40 points to 34. Manawatu have come on strong as the competition has progressed, as players restarted by Whatarao. Ball is fielded by Manawatu easily and quickly. The players get over the ball. Langridge out into midfield to Ilston Park. Gets the ball off to Hirawini Daigas. Hirawini Daigas up towards the 22, running rampant on Manawatu, but a good steal by Hawke's Bay just staunches the flow of the attack, although it's all a bit hurried and scurried in terms of the Hawke's Bay defence, and as a result they just concede a little knock on and another attacking opportunity to Manawatu. Well, in the first 35 minutes, I mentioned the fact that Manawatu are running straight and direct and hard. The passes are flat and fast, and really that's paying dividends for them. So very well drilled, which is not to say the Hawke's Bay team are not. It's just that the game's not really going their way at this stage anyway. 26 points to 7. And referee Hughes just going to reset the scrum. Isaac Hughes from Poverty Bay, today's match referee. Great to have him here from Gisborne. Scrum is fed by Langridge. Untidy, swirling scrum. Could be lost for Hawke's Bay. Well done by Hawke's Bay. The scrum is working well for them. Twice they've put the wood on Manawatu. They'll now need to shift the ball from the base of the ensuing ruck. Not tidy ball though, and a little bit tricky, but here's a chance for Hawke's Bay to break out now through number 11, Hewitt Tremaine. Ball comes back in field again to Iwasa. Out onto the left wing side, starting to play with a little bit more space and width with Josh Augustin. Sets the ball, play on, says referee Hughes. Whatarao takes on the line and then gets tackled. Recycled ball. High tackle, could be a penalty against the high tackle on Hawiti. Play on, says referee Hughes. Number 21, Mokar Lambert is the next to carry. Certainly plenty of phases for Hawke's Bay. They now need to just get some territory with it. The defence holding. Now there's a chance down the left wing side for Hawke's Bay. Looking to link up number 13, Josh Augustin. Great run by the centre. Whatarao was forced to kick. It's a clever kick too. It puts the ball into touch. 6 metres out from the Manawatu goal line. Better play from Hawke's Bay. They realise they need to make all the play, and they're now at the right end of the field to score their second 5-pointer of the afternoon. They've got a few to catch up, it must be fair to say. 26 points to 7 is the score. And Manawatu defence is held so far, but just on that left wing side, that big centre Josh Augustin Made a great spurt. Short line out called. Taken from the top by Manawatu. And it'll be slow coming back for Langridge. Langridge not sure where he's going to pass it to. Eventually gives it up to Nikolayenko. Nikolayenko is able to reset the ball to Langridge. Langridge is going to pass back to number 22, Hedewini Daigas, who had a great run before. Puts a great big kick downtown, but it looks like the Manawatu players might have been in front to kick it. No, the penalty has gone to Manawatu. So I missed the reason for that, but it might have been the Hawke's Bay players in an offside position. So the pressure valve is released for Manawatu, and Whananga Matanga, the left footer, will belt the ball into touch just inside the 10-metre line, inside his own team's territory. 26-7 is the score, just the one try to Hawke's Bay. Tali Iwasa, the second 5'8". Tries to the props for Manawatu, Stassen and Wallace. Christensen, the right winger. Ball comes out into the midfield. Wakava manages to get the pass away to Florence. Recycled quickly by Langridge. Waiting out on the left wing side is Ilston Park. Tom Ilston Park for Manawatu. Reaching in again, Langridge for the ball. Gives it up to Nikolayenko. Nikolayenko is held up in the tackle, and he'll want to go to the ground, but it's too late. It could be a maul. Let's see what referee Isaac Hughes calls. The ball has gone down now, and it is a maul that's called, so turnover ball. Good work by the Hawke's Bay forwards, just to hold up Lachlan Nikolayenko as he was carrying up towards the halfway line, or just up over the halfway line. So it'll be a defensive scrum for Hawke's Bay. And Nikolayenko probably isn't going to be too disappointed by that, because he's done well enough in order to take his side back into Hawke's Bay territory. And Hawke's Bay are going to have to win the ball back in the scrum and then make their way back into the Manawatu 50. Hawke's Bay scrum has been very good so far in this match. There's been a couple of tight hits from recollection, and they'll be looking to just show that dominance again in this next set piece. It's number 21, Lambert. Passes the ball out, and it's going to beat number 11, Uritt Tremaine, into touch, which means we will come back for something else. So it could have been the forward pass, I suppose. The ball must have gone forward or been knocked on. In fact, it's Hawke's Bay ball, so it must have been a knock on by Manawatu. Temperatures dropped a little bit here at Palmerston North. Overcast afternoon. It's been a little bit of bright sunshine. But, by and large, a cool afternoon. Excellent conditions for rugby, though. Number 21, Lambert, feeds the scrum. This time Manawatu get the good shunt on. Ball comes out, though. Safety to Whatarau, to Poasa, the wraparound, and a chance now to break out. Good work by Hawke's Bay. Whatarau on the wraparound. Now just looking to straighten the line of attack through number 17, Isaiah Craig. Out to the right wing with Hawke's Bay. Now it's starting to open up for the junior Magpies. For Manawatu, it's all about defence. And there was a little knock on by number 7 for Hawke's Bay, Barham, which has given the ball back to Manawatu. Slow ball coming back for the halfback Langridge. Into the middle of the field again. Off goes number 8, Basin. Langridge recycles the ball. And, well, an unforced error by Manawatu. And to be disappointed by that. I'm not sure which player it was. Was it Nikolayenko again? Could have been. Yeah, Nikolayenko, unforced error. And he's been industrious, though. He has been busy. He's been carrying the ball strongly. He just needs to tidy up a few of those rough edges in terms of his play. So Lambert will feed an attacking scrum just inside the half for Hawke's Bay. Big shunt from the Manawatu forwards. The front rows come down. Play on, says the referee. Whatarau to Iwasa. Iwasa scored a try in the first half. and struggles his way through 3 or 4 Manawatu tackles. Ball comes out on the left wing side now. And here are Hawke's Bay.
Go, Topher!
Charging upfield through Kolfanonga. Iwasa once more up to the line, looks to link up, and here comes the second try for Hawke's Bay. It'll be scored by the replacement halfback, Mokau Lambert. 26 points to 12. The game's not over yet, that's for sure. Well done to Hawke's Bay. They've withstood a period of intense pressure. They have conceded 3 tries on the trot, but now they've come back with one of their own. And let's not forget that all of the reserves came onto the field at half-time. That's the rule in under-16 rugby, in New Zealand rugby, domestic safety law variation. And that can make a difference in a game. So Mokau Lambert was the recipient of the pass in front of the posts. And number 20, Isaiah Tulilau, is successful with the conversion. So 26 points to 14. It's still Manawatu that lead Hawke's Bay. We hope you're enjoying this live stream coverage from the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. As you can see in the images, it's a magnificent venue. There are 3 adjoining fields here in front of the pavilion, and it's just one of those superb places to play rugby. Every player that has been on the field here says how much they've enjoyed the experience. As Matenga restarts play for Manawatu, kicks it deep inside the Hawke's Bay 22. Ball's carried out of trouble by number 18, Patrick Monga. Ball still with Hawke's Bay, and they'll just be looking to see if they can repeat the same trick that they did a short time ago through the hands of Iwasa. Knock on by Manawatu, play on, says the referee. All of a sudden, neither side wanted to pick the ball up. Hawke's Bay, though, have got it, and it will be a penalty. So deliberate knockdown was the call. And so chance for Hawke's Bay to kick the touch. They're midway between the 22 and the halfway line, and set piece play. Line out will be the call, I would have thought. So still 12 points in it. Certainly Hawke's Bay not out in the game, having just scored that second try. 26 points to 14 the score. Hawke's Bay to throw to the line out. Throw falls on the Hawke's Bay side, out into the midfield. Recycled quickly, and now Hawke's Bay launch another attack down the left wing. This is where they are good. This is where they are very good, and a high tackle on number 11 next to Tofolo could prove to be costly. Sorry, on number 11, Cesar Faso. My apologies, watchers. So the assistant referee is coming onto the field to discuss the high tackle on Cesar Faso for Hawke's Bay. And it could be a yellow card for Manawatu, which Faso there showing the discomfort that he's in, is going to come in. It could prove to be costly for Manawatu. In fact, it will be, as referee Isaac Hughes goes to his pocket. The question is it going to be a yellow card? It will be a yellow card against number 7, Tom Ilston Park. Well, how costly will that be in the context of this match? The score, whilst it's not flattering Manawatu, is still a close score. And playing with one less player for the next 10 minutes could prove to be very expensive in terms of their title aspirations. 26 points to 14, with number 7, Tom Ilston Park, in the sin bin for 10 minutes. For a high tackle on left winger Cesar Faso. Not too much distance is gained on the kick, so a bit of a sigh of relief perhaps for Manawatu in that regard. They're one forward down for the next wee while, so the rest of the team are going to have to step up, particularly defensively, around this Hawke's Bay tackle ruck area. Lambert passes the ball out to Whatara. Shifts the ball into midfield to EF. Quick recycle of the ball. If they shift the ball wide, they should be able to stretch the Manawatu defence. It should be the game plan, and that looks like what they're trying to do here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. Down the left wing side now, here comes Faso. He's taken in another tackle. This time it's not a high one, but he carries the ball up to the 22-metre line inside Manawatu territory. A bit more intensity, a bit more urgency, a bit more energy from Hawke's Bay as they carry strongly up to the line. Only 10 metres away now. And the tackle was made. It had to be made on Kalfanonga. Out the right wing side now. Hawke's Bay straightening the line of attack. And Manawatu are going to have to defend grimly here, that's for sure. Here comes the try. It's going to be scored. And it's number 18, Patrick Monga, who scores it. That's the third try of the afternoon. 19 points to 26 with a kick to come. Well, great excitement for the Hawke's Bay side, that's for sure. At 26 points to 7 down, they're bringing it back. They're bringing it home, 26 points to 19. And Manawatu are going to have to dig deep because it's still going to be another 8 minutes or so before they'll see Tom Ilston Park back on the field. And they'll realise that they've had a very good lead, and that's being chipped away. It's being dissolved by this relentless Hawke's Bay attack, which now, as the ball is being shifted left and right across the field, is starting to pay dividends. 19 points scored, 3 tries, and the conversion kick still to come. In off the upright. 21 points to 26. It's game on here at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North. Anyone's game as we get into the last quarter of the match. And this is more like the scoreline I was anticipating when I came this morning. And we hope that you're enjoying, whichever side you're supporting, the quality of the play that these young men are bringing to the Don Broughton Shield final for 2021. So just working out what's happening here. Looks like another Manawatu player has gone to the sideline. This time though an injury replacement by looks of things. Number 5, Andre Teitinga is gone. He's limping off to the side of the field behind the goalpost. So players restarted. Let's get back underway. And it's Martinga who kicks the ball deep and downfield. Hawke's Bay now will just be very confident that they've got what it takes with an extra man on the field to do what they need to do. Untidy pass though, eventually retrieved by Barham. Turns out on the Manawatu side. And knock on by Hawke's Bay. So the scrum will be under a little bit of pressure here. That's the Manawatu scrum. As mentioned, Hawke's Bay have put the wood on them on a couple of occasions already. And don't forget now they're down to 7 players. So on the field now is number 19, Elijah Lokeni. You can see him in shot at the moment. And you can see number 8, Mosesi Basin, going to the other side, the flanking side. And they'll play without a number 8 for the scrum. So it'll be a quick heel and a quick feed. Quick feed and a quick heel. Have to be in that order, of course. And Langridge is just receiving instructions from Martinga in terms of what he's going to do. And they might be changing their minds in terms of how they're going to sort this one out. So, going into the side of the scrum will be Hedewini Daigas, and Mosesi Basin will stand out on the right wing side. So, and now he comes back in again. So they are going to play with an 8-man scrum. So confusion reigns at field number 6 at the Sport and Rugby Institute in Palmerston North, with the Manawatu pack still figuring out what they're going to do. So Hirawini Daigas is now retired, back off the scrum, and as you can see, Basin has resumed the position on the blindside flank. Quick feed and quick heel, and Language loses the ball. That was always going to be a risk. Quickly swooped on by number 5 Kauwhanonga for Hawke's Bay. And now they look to run it out through the form of number 12 Tari Iowasa. He is led by example in this match. Iowasa, he has scored a try. He has been very good. The ball is turned over though, and Manawatu through Nikolayenko, who's also been good since he came on the field, carries forward. Penalty against Hawke's Bay for a high tackle, signalled by referee Isaac Hughes. Probably about 5 minutes to go for Palmerston Park, who's been sent to the sin bin for a high tackle on Cesar Faso, the winger, about 5 minutes ago. But Manawatu have done very well here. They've got the ball in touch 23 metres out from the Hawke's Bay goal line, and will now look to apply some of the pressure which they had exhibited earlier in the match, with Odoran throwing to the short line out. Ball comes back quickly into the backs, where this very good second 5'8", Ben Pakava, is taken in a big tackle, bounces the ball, and then there's an unforced error with a knock-on with Matt Florence on the deck. He'll be lucky not to concede a penalty here as Hawke's Bay swarm over the ball, turn it over, get it out onto the left wing side, where number 13, Augustine, Josh Augustine, carries up towards the defence. Shifted again. And now coming on the right-hand side of the field. Hawke's Bay. Well, I have to give credit to Manawatu. Their defence is working overtime, but they're doing enough at the moment to just stop Hawke's Bay getting any territorial advantage with ball in hand. If I was Hawke's Bay, I'd be kicking for the corner and then look to do the set piece from there. They've got the benefit of the win. Maybe they don't need it. Here comes the hole, perhaps, for Hawke's Bay. No, the ball went backwards, but that's okay. The very good hands there by number 6, Oscar Ritchie, as he's bundled into touch. Yeah, well, again, I'm no expert in the game, but to me, it just seems like with the one extra man, that southeastern corner would have been a good place to get the ball down into and then reset with a line out. Not straight is the throw, is the call. So, in fact, it's a free kick against Hawke's Bay for closing the gap. Ball taken quickly by Langridge, passes up to Nikolayenko. He just runs straight at the defence. That's all that the big man knows how to do. It's pretty effective though, as Langridge recycles. Out into the midfield to Hirawini Daigas, taken in the tackle. Ball is maintained alive with Martenga. Martenga has to release the ball. Hawke's Bay were keen to get their hands on it, little knock on. So advantage with Green. As up the field goes Josiah Johnston for Manawatu. Langridge reaches in. Gets the ball to Hirawini Daigas. And Langridge is there again. This is good work by Manawatu. Here we go down the right wing side. Number 19, Elijah Lokene. And there's an intercept. It's going to be down the other end of the field if Manawatu are not careful. Good work by Isaiah Tulilau. Hawke's Bay now shift the ball left and right, looking for holes in this staunch Manawatu defence. Taking into contact, Tremaine. And once again, that big centre, Augustin, he's been pretty good this afternoon. Forced to kick though, Hawke's Bay. Fatarau. Where's it going to land? Well, Manawatu have got their hands on it, but only just, and Hawke's Bay are keen. And they win the penalty. Well, a bit lackadaisical by Manawatu there on the kick through. Somebody should have been on that ball a lot earlier. Right, is the sin bin over? Looks like it might be. No, got an injured player at the far side of the field. 26 points to 21 is the score here at the Sport and Rugby Institute. It's Manawatu who are leading Hawke's Bay just by the solitary 5 points. Manawatu have scored 4 tries. Hawke's Bay have scored 3. 3 conversions to Manawatu, 3 conversions to Hawke's Bay. And it's going to be a rip snorter end to this game, that's for sure. Don't forget, Manawatu have only ever won the Don Broughton Shield 4 times in its history, which commenced in 1972. Hawke's Bay, they've won it 22 times already, but they've got their work ahead of them to have it back in McLean Park for a 23rd time. Ball is kept in play by Manawatu, but the ball falls fortuitously for Hawke's Bay. It may be better to let that ball go into touch. Carrying the ball up strongly goes Hawiti. Now down the left wing side, Hawke's Bay. Through Kalfananga.
He's down.
5 metres out from the goal line.
Over the ball.
And Hawke's Bay in possession. One man advantage too as the ball's turned over. Great work by Manawatu. It needed to be done and they did it. Ball comes back for Langridge to Matenga. And he gives the ball some good distance. And offside play by Hawke's Bay. They didn't retire. Oh, sorry. Certainly was offside play, and so a relieving penalty for Manawatu. How important is that penalty going to be in the context of this game? Well, Langridge with his heavily strapped right knee will be hoping that the mechanics of his small frame stay together for the remainder of this match. There's Martinga, kicks for touch. He's been hooking the ball with his left boot. The touch finders through the course of his presence on the park, but it's effective because it ensures the ball gets into touch, which is what needs to happen now. Ball is intercepted by Hawke's Bay. Turnover ball, and Hawke's Bay can now launch an attack just on their on the Manawatu side of halfway. Straight and hard running by number 5, Kalfananga. He's been a good player this afternoon as well. Little inside ball looking to get away by number 21, Lambert, who scored a try already this afternoon. Line of attack is straight on the 22-metre line, in front of the Manawatu goal line. Ball is loose. Who wants it? Hawke's Bay want it. Getting in quickly over the ball is number 7, Ilston Park, who is back on the field. So restored to their full complement now, a Manawatu. Good recycle by Hawke's Bay, and straight up the guts goes number 7, Oliver Barham. A little bit of an overlap potentially for Hawke's Bay. There's certainly a huge degree of intensity here and a little knock on. Well, credit where credit's due. Hawke's Bay are giving it everything. They're only 5 points behind, and they know a draw will be enough to retain the trophy. Whereas Hawke's Bay, I'm sure they realise it, need not only to win the game, but somehow ensure that Hawke's Bay don't have an opportunity to tie with them. So let's see what happens with this clearance. Number 12 for Manawatu, Ben Fakava, looks handy, and early shunt by Manawatu gives the advantage now to Hawke's Bay with the free kick. Anything can happen from here.
Good option.
Hands the ball to Lambert, and they're going to set a scrum.
To be clinical.
Come on, take your time.
Well, fortunately for Manawatu, they are restored to their full 8 now, so there's no advantage in terms of the push that Hawke's Bay can give to the scrum. Although they have been the more dominant 8, really, so far in this match, other than the fact that the 2 Manawatu props have scored tries. So around the loose, Manawatu's forwards have been very good. And the set piece, Hawke's Bay. And a big shunt comes on from Manawatu. It's good though for Hawke's Bay, and here comes the try that will even it all up. And it's scored by number 11 for Hawke's Bay, Ewart Tremaine. That's their 4th try. And ladies and gentlemen, it is 26 points all, with the kick to come. Let's not forget, 15 minutes ago, it was 26 points to 7 to Hawke's Bay over Manawatu. That's the game of rugby. things can change in an instant. And Manawatu now, well, what have they got left in the tank? First, we're going to have to see if this kick is successful. Either way, Manawatu are going to have to go on and win this match. They're going to have to score one more time. It can be a penalty. If it can be a penalty, it can be a try. It doesn't really matter. Manawatu will just have to score. And I'm sure that there'll be some wise heads and cool heads amongst the phalanx of Manawatu players who realise what's at stake and what they need to do. Meanwhile, though, let's see what happens with this conversion attempt, which could take the scores out to 28 points to 26. It's over. So, congratulations for Isaiah Tulilau. That's a successful conversion, and Hawke's Bay now lead the Don Broughton Shield final 28 points to 26. So, the asset is now on Manawatu. They just need to score some points. Any points, a penalty will do it. A try will do it. Any point will do it. But they need to recover some of the mojo that they've lost in the past 10 minutes ever since that sin binning of number 7, Tom Ilston Park. The ball's with Hawke's Bay. And Hawke's Bay through the frame of Isaiah Craig. Look to carry the ball up a little bit further towards the 22. That's the 22-metre line you can see in frame there. Inside Hawke's Bay territory. Kalfanongo. Big defence put on the ball carrier, holding him up, but he manages to get the pass away. Ball's popped out on the Manawatu side. But illegally, high tackle, says referee Isaac Hughes. Man penalised, number 7 for Manawatu, Tom Ilston Park. Well, he's caught the referee's eye on a couple of occasions this afternoon. Once sent him to the sideline. Tap kick by Whatarao. And Hawke's Bay just keen now to wind down the clock, it would appear. Can't be too long to go in this match. As Hawke's Bay do the tough work through the form of Patrick Monga. Now shift the ball, give it a little bit more space. Manawatu somehow have to get possession back or force an error from Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay know how to shut a game down. We've seen the men's side do it once they're in front, and I'm sure this coach side will know exactly what they need to do in the dying embers of this match for the Don Broughton Shield in 2021. And the ball is kicked for touch. What does the referee say? That is the game, ladies and gentlemen, and the Don Broughton Shield will not be staying in Palmerston North tonight. It will be heading back to McLean Park in Hawke's Bay, where Hawke's Bay have won the Shield for the 23rd time. A fantastic game, one that was Manawatu's for the taking, but as it turned out, they weren't good enough on the day. Congratulations to the Hawke's Bay side. Thank you for joining us on this coverage, and thank you to Chris Morton and the team at Event Tech. But the winners of the Don Broughton Shield for 2021 are the Hawke's Bay team.
Move. Move. You boys go away.
Kia ora koutou katoa. My name's Gordon Noble Campbell. I'm the chairman of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council. On behalf of everybody who was involved in today's fixture, congratulations on what a great spectacle of rugby. The game had absolutely everything. Huge highlights, great excitement, and then of course at the conclusion, jubilation and disappointment. I was watching the game from up on the balcony there, 26 points to 7. I thought, wow, Manawatu, this looks like it might be your year. And then to come back at the end and win the game by 28 points to 26, fantastic effort, and it just goes to show with Hawke's Bay sides, never say the game's over until the final whistle. So in a moment I'll just ask the two captains to come up and say a couple of words. But before that, as you will be aware, 2021 has been an unusual year for everybody because of COVID. 2020 we weren't able to play this competition at all. This year we've been fortunate to be able to get these games together and to bring a final here to Palmerston North. It's required an awful lot of work by an awful lot of people, and in particular those that have been involved in the coaching and management of your teams who have been able to bring you to the final today, I think is worthy of recognition. So please thank your coaches and management teams. Secondly, I'd like you to show your appreciation for our match officials today. As you know, there is no game without a referee, and the three match officials that you had with you today, including Isaac Hughes from Poverty Bay, Ben Cook, and I'm sorry I didn't grab the third assistant referee's name, have given up their time freely, and in Isaac's case travelled a long way to be part of this game. We'd like to thank them and congratulate them for bringing a great game to us as well. Okay, so the next thing is just a little bit of history about this mighty taonga of the Hurricanes Youth Rugby Council. It was first competed for in 1972. 1972, I was 7 years old, so it gives you an idea how long this thing's been around. Over that period of time, all of the provincial unions in the Hurricanes region have had an opportunity to win it and have won it. In Manawatu's case, that's only been 4 times since 1972. I thought for a moment 2021 might be the 5th. In the case of Hawke's Bay prior to today had won it 22 times. This will be the 23rd. Wellington have won it 17 times. But it is one of the most keenly contested trophies in age group rugby, not only in this region and around New Zealand. Named after Don Broughton, who was a kaumātua of rugby in the Horowhenua Kapiti area and gave a lot of his time and energy to the development of youth rugby. So we're delighted that we still compete for this, and we're doubly delighted that in an era where having games like this is very difficult to arrange and organise, that we can present it to a winning team. So I'd now like to ask the two captains to come forward and just provide a couple of reflections on the game today, please.
Yeah, it was a bloody hard game out there today. You know, top effort from all the lads. You know, obviously coming out victorious, and it definitely won for the books this game. One of the hardest games I've ever played, and probably one of the boys. And it's, you know, good playing finals rugby. Don't get it often, so yeah, well done.
Yeah, thanks for good game. One of the two. Yeah, he's played real hard. Probably that's the hardest game we've played all year. Well, obviously only a couple of games, but thanks to our boys, he's played main, and yeah, good effort. Thank you.
So there we go. We'll just get out of the way of the table. The cameraman presenting the shield.
Smile.
Great, well done. Congratulations. Yep. Okay, now you can pull out your teammate. We've got some winners' medals for you as well. Yes, you put that down there. Yep. Got to shake your hand too. Absolutely. Well done.
Alright, bring your boys up. On what? Must they? Yeah, you got to shake all their hands and give them their
Single file, please. Not you. Caesar. Hey, really great effort. Thanks for coming here. Hey, Chasman, good speech. Real good kick. I really like how you played Henry. Good effort this year. You were deserving of that. Real good effort. Really like how you played this year. Hey, Ozai, good effort today. That's real good. Whoa, watch out. Good effort. Good try. Ollie, good shit, boy. Nice. Soler, hey, shit, sorry. Drop me. So, my team, hey, real great effort. Josh, partner in crime, good shit.
Thanks.
Good boy. Angus, get the attitude of yours out of here. Patrick, good stuff. Shot boy. Hey, an honour.